Yo guys, welcome to my full, absolutely ginormous YouTube course. And in this course, guys, that's over 4 hours long, I'm going to be going over everything that you guys will need to know on how you guys can get YouTube success, both financially and also how you guys can create a lasting brand. There is so much in this course from start to end, and there is so much knowledge inside of here that I've been working on this for the longest time, and I've wanted this for the longest time. And after 4 years of YouTube experience, I finally feel like I know enough to compile it all into one giant mega video to share it with all of you guys and hope you guys grow your channels. For those of you guys that don't know who I am a 15-year-old. I do YouTube automation, I do YouTube management, and I also run some of my own channels too. And thanks to my YouTube knowledge, I've managed to acquire this award, many other awards, lots of money, and lots of other things for YouTube, including incredible brand connections and so much more. I'm going to be showing you inside of this video how you guys can start YouTube and start making money off of it, because there is so much demand for trying to be a YouTuber nowadays. And I want to go over the best ways you guys can not just make videos, but also the best ways how you guys can make money off of YouTube too. Now make sure you guys watch this course in its entirety, because I'm going to be giving away so much valuable information and knowledge that it's unparalleled, it's unmatched. There's no other YouTube guide as detailed and as thorough as this, because I go over the most absolute efficient ways to make money off YouTube and fully capitalize to the max off the amount of reach you guys can get on this platform, and even other platforms too. I slightly go into that, but I go over just about everything in this course that you guys need, and you need all of the components in order to succeed. So make sure you guys watch this thing in its entirety, because otherwise it will not be beneficial to you. Now, I do reference multiple resources throughout this course, and if you guys want to go ahead and get these resources, like the video editing softwares, which all of these things are free, the video editing softwares, the Photoshop things, everything, if you want to get all of this stuff for free, what you guys want to do is go to the second link in the description. I'll explain the first link in a minute, but what you guys want to go and do is you want to click on go to destination, and you guys want to click on access link. And by the way, this course is divided up into segments. You guys should watch all of the segments. If you guys have already run a YouTube channel, you guys can skip the introductory segment, although I still highly recommend watching it, although everything else beyond that is super critical if you've already run a YouTube channel. But if you're brand new, then watch the introductory segment. And once you guys made it to this page, you basically want to do one of these steps. You have to install Opera GX browser, or if you guys want to install browser extension, you have to do one of these to actually move on. And you click on go to destination, probably go through more ads, and then after that it'll take you to a page that looks like this. Once you guys are here, it's the same thing. You guys want to click on get Drucker AMC, and you guys just basically have to go ahead and complete one of these ads too. These are very simple. You just have to click on I'm interested and learn more, and then you guys can make it through. You don't actually have to install anything here, so you just got to click on learn more, and you guys just have to scroll through it for a little bit and just pretend to actually care, and then you guys can move on, and it will take you to this website, which is where all of the resources throughout this course are located. So everything that you guys need to get one of these for completely free is within this website. Either for my recording software, editing software, thumbnail image editing software. I have a free editing software alternative from Photoshop that's literally just like it. I have a tags generator, which is basically something I do go over. An AI image generator, in case you guys want to make content with AI, although you guys do have to make it supplemental. I go over that too. And then you guys can generate scripts if that's something you're going to be doing. And then also video AI generator. Everything that you guys will need will be on that website, which will be the second link in the description. And all of those links just work how I just showed you. You just basically have to do those very simple steps. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this absolutely massive course. Make sure you guys watch it in its entirety. And thank you guys for choosing to watch this. I hope you guys find this worth your while, because this is going to be probably life-changing for at least some of you guys. So let's get into this. Now, there's one thing I would like to mention before you do get into this, is I have a private group that you guys can go ahead and join for $1 singular dollar. And I know I said I'm not going to sell anything, but if you guys go ahead and go to the first link in the description and use the promo code FREE at checkout to my YouTube group, you guys can go ahead and get in for literally $1 singular dollar. And I'm doing that because everyone watching this course, I want to give them an opportunity to get a custom specific roadmap from me to them And if you guys are in this group, this is going to be an amazing group. I'm going to be making roadmaps for people. I'm going to be doing weekly calls, and I will bring you up on stage and specifically ask you what is your content needs, and I will tell you what you should be doing. There's going to be private lessons in here and social media exploits that I cannot even share publicly, and I'm going to be giving away services. There's going to be so many different things in here, and there is honestly tons of value that you guys are going to be able to get from this, because all this information in this course is all meaningless if you guys cannot apply it in ways that are practical to your content and your content alone. And so that's why you guys need to go ahead and join. Make sure you guys use the discount code FREE when going ahead and going to the first link in the description and going ahead and signing up. Because if you guys do that, you can get in for a singular $1. And when you guys go ahead and do that, you guys will be able to get in there. You guys can ask me any specific questions. You guys can show me your content, and I will give you a step-by-step plan just for you guys on how you can take your content and make it better, or how you guys can start monetizing it. And I will help you specifically. I'm going to be doing weekly calls in there. I will bring you up on stage, and I will talk to you, I will help you, and I will make sure everyone in here has success in YouTube, because I've learned it so much, and I can only share so much information with it still being meaningful and being broad at the same time, so it can help everyone. But if you guys want specific answers for your own content, make sure you guys go ahead and join this. It is a singular $1, and it is unmatched when it comes to information. No one knows more about YouTube automation and just YouTube growth in general than, I don't want to sound arrogant, but especially when it comes to YouTube automation. I've had some notable success for a 15-year-old, and so make sure you guys go ahead and join this. It is a singular $1, and I will make sure it is worth it for you guys. I'm not trying to scam you for $1, I promise, but I want to make this community something so amazing, and so make sure you guys go ahead and join it, because I'm honestly going to be making sure everyone in there has a direct answer from me, not some generic answer of post 3 short. No, I'm going to be giving you a specific answer for your own needs, and also you guys will be able to talk to me just as a normal person too. And so if you guys are interested in joining, make sure you guys join from the first link in the description and use discount code FREE to get it for $1 and $1 only. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video, because I do not waste any of your time. Let's get into the YouTube course, because this is going to be jam-packed with so much new information. And if you guys do find this good, then make sure you guys join, because you guys will be able to get in touch with me directly, and you guys will be able to join the community Discord server, which basically is super amazing, because I'll be chatting to tons of you guys in there. It'll be super fun, and I'll also be helping you guys with specific information that is catered to your needs, and so you guys can actually go ahead and grow and use this information to apply to your own content to see success. Thank you, and let's get into it. Now, first thing you need to do is you need to create a channel. I'd recommend creating a new one right now when you're watching this video, and you need to decide what type of content you're going to do and what sort of you want to pick a broad topic that at least start. So right now, you need to decide in your head, what am I knowledgeable in, what do I have experience with, and what can I share information on. So you need to think, what do I know about that other people don't. For example, if you are an avid soccer fan, create a soccer themed channel, and I'm going to be going over all the branding stuff in a second, but you guys want to pick a topic. You want to keep it broad at first, which will narrow it down later. I'll explain everything that you have to do in order to do that, but you first want to keep it as bland as possible. You want to pick an overall topic. I'm just going to make up a channel topic. For example, let's say I'm extremely knowledgeable in personal finance. You're going to want to create a personal finance channel, or you just want to create a channel around either you personally, or you can create a channel around a topic. So if you guys do not have an overall topic, but you do have a personality you want to share with the world, you have to be, I don't want to sound rude when I'm saying this, but you do have to be semi-interesting. You either have to be partially funny, you either have to be interesting, you have to be insightful to a degree. You're either doing YouTube to entertain, persuade, or inform. Those are the 3 ways you have to basically capture audience on YouTube and captivate viewers to actually monetize an audience. So you have to decide, which one are you going to do? Are you going to entertain people, or are you going to inform people, or are you going to try to persuade people? I really wouldn't recommend going to persuade, because unless you're going to be a political commentator, that's not something you want to do for instant money off YouTube. But now, what I would recommend is, once you have your channel, you guys will need to do some basic stuff, obviously, which I'm going to be going over all the basics first. I recommend actually, right now, watching this twice. I know this is like an hour and a half long, so I know it's going to be extremely tedious, but the first time you watch it, just try and absorb as much information as you can, and try to either take notes. I don't really like taking notes, but I'm going to suggest it for this because I'm going to try and provide as much value as I possibly can within this 90 minutes, and just try and be as insightful as possible and give you the best tactics. And I would recommend taking notes. If you guys do not want to take notes, that's fine, but I would highly recommend taking mental notes at least. Just some form of way of remembering everything I'm going to go over, because I'm going to go over so much even just within this basic starter lesson, because this does not get into what to do for specific cases, like for example shorts channels, or for example channels that reuse content, which don't do that, guys, because that will get you demonetized. Or channels that, for example, do live streams occasionally, or channels that do automation, whatever. I'm just going to go over the basics for every single channel that's applicable to you today. So let's get started. So first thing, create a channel name. Obviously, you want it to be something catchy and rememberable. For example, on this channel, this is a completely blank channel. I have no purpose for this channel whatsoever. I just named it BDR because BDR is 3 very recognizable letters. If I made content on this channel and eventually on a certain topic, people would have that membered in their name. If you're gonna name your channel Soccer Guy 42 XD, whatever, if you're gonna name something stupid like that, then it's going to be hard for you to develop a brand. You want to come up with a clean name that's either pronounceable, or it has to be like a basic abbreviation. So all you have to do is come up with a basic name. Like for example, if you were doing a gaming channel, you could do like Alexa FN. That's probably taken, but if that was if you're doing Fortnite content. And honestly, this tutorial is just how to make money off YouTube. So it really does not matter what topic. Some of these topics you might think they're lower down. Like for example, doing kids content. I have friends that do kids content that make over 10K a month, and they talk about kids channels like Ninja Kids TV, whatever, and they just make videos on news surrounding them, and they don't care about that content, but they make money off of it. So it's hard differentiating between passion and making money off YouTube. It just really boils down to what you're knowledgeable in, and so that's what I would recommend going off of. But come up with some sort of catchy name, something short, something rememberable, something you can say out loud. Unless if it's something I can say BDR out loud. I can say the other name I came up with, Elixir. If you come up with some basic name that is rememberable, for example, I'm just gonna come up with basic name Ciders 10, or for example innovation stream or whatever. Just something rememberable. As you can see, you guys just want to pick something memorable that is also not taken by any other major brand. It's fine if it's taken by some random kid that has 200 subs on YouTube. That does not matter. It just matters like you can pave a way with that name, and that name is sustainable, so it has to be able to last you. Now once you guys go in and do that with the name, you guys at least want to change your handle to something like that. And for the channel description, you want to keep it as bland as possible. And then you guys just want to write a description. It really does not matter what you put in here initially. It matters more once we boil down your channel to a more specific and narrow topic. So I would recommend just writing something pretty basic in there, just describing the topic of your channel more than the actual channel itself, especially if you're still in early development. I have a YouTube representative too. Like I have a person at YouTube who I know their name, and I can contact them directly. They work at YouTube, and they can directly contact YouTube for me. I don't have to use a stupid support chat if I have an issue. So that is something nice too. But eventually you guys will all get up to my level if you stick with it and persist. But once you guys go ahead and do that, select an email, whatever, something you can use for business. Do not use your actual Google account email. But after that, guys, I'm going to be going over branding, layouts, and then settings. Now for layout, guys, very basically, now I would recommend waiting until you've actually uploaded a bit of content, like at least 10 videos, and then go ahead and add a trailer. Important part, sorry for misspeaking a lot, it's like almost 1 a.m. when I'm recording this, but it is actually your channel branding. Now for the branding itself, you guys want to put a channel profile picture, banner, and some sort of, you don't have to really do the video watermark. I just have it as a subscribe thing on all my channels that I run, just basically because it's simple and it's easy to do. That really does not matter, but a banner does matter, especially if you have a channel theme. So to make a banner, it's very basic. You can pick an image off of Google, literally just whatever. So if you have a, for example, space theme channel, you could look a picture of Galaxy or whatever, and then you can find one that's high quality, like copyright free, obviously. You want to download it, and then you can put it into Photoshop, which I'm going to be going over Photoshop, all sort of that stuff too in this video. in this course, I guess you could say. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all that stuff. And so you guys basically want to change it. I recommend putting some text over. I'll go over all this sort of stuff, the image modifications and stuff like that, thumbnailing, all sorts of that stuff. The actual content cycle is coming up, so I promise to stick around for this. But I'm just going to be going over personal branding right now. So picture, as you can see, you want to have some sort of professional picture, something that catches the eye. The most important part is you guys want to go to your channel settings. Now this is where things actually matter. You have to do these things, otherwise it will get screwed up. So first, you want to select you want to go to the general settings, select your currency. That is very, very important. And after you guys want to do that, you simply just want to go to channel, and you guys want to select your country of residence. And if you guys live in like one of the 3 countries where YouTube does not let you monetize, then I would recommend switching into a country that does, and just making sure you have VPN on. And now for keywords, what I would recommend is you want to go to this website, which copy this website because I'm going to be referencing a lot. But what you guys want to go ahead and do, you simply just want to type in your overall channel's topic and what you think you're going to be making content on. So, and this is going to change from time to time. So think about it. Think about what your personal brand is going to be. For example, with the soccer example, I'm just going to do best of soccer. For the soccer example, if I'm going to be doing the best moments in soccer or whatever, I'm going to be commenting over that. You guys want to copy those, paste the keywords in, and that will be what your channel represents. I'm grinding this video out, but what you guys want to go ahead and do is, after you go ahead and do that, you want to select advanced settings. No, this channel is not made for kids. That's very important. Otherwise, YouTube will restrict your monetization. When they say kids, that means people under 13. And even if your content's gonna be watched mainly people under 13, you do not want to put it on yes, and just put it on no by default. And then finally, intermediate features you want to enable. You can do that by verifying your phone number. And advanced features, which you have to enable too. I recommend enabling all 3 of these as soon as possible. Is you guys have to do video verification. Even if you guys are not 18 and don't have an ID, you simply just can do video verification, which is like you get a QR code emailed to you, you scan it on your phone, you move your face around a little bit, and then send it into YouTube. They'll review it. It's good. And finally, guys, there's also upload defaults, which is the final one of these that actually really matters. There's like agreements, which you guys won't see unless you're in like the monetization program and stuff, like memberships. Creator demographics doesn't matter. Community does matter to a degree, as long as you're not doing anything. You can hide comments if you want. Like you don't hide all comments under any means. Like don't do these too. But you guys can, if you get lots of negative comments, you guys can hide them. I personally don't hide negative comments. I just let them go through. It doesn't really matter. But if you guys want to hide comments, you can. Just I really don't recommend doing it because it can hinder your growth. And then finally, upload defaults. Like I already saying, this is important. I recommend setting every video to unlisted. So by default, it'll unlist, and then you can publish it once everything has gone through, such as YouTube checks for monetization. Which I promise, if some of this stuff sounds advanced or confusing, or if it sounds like I'm skipping over stones, by the end of this like whole video, you guys will understand everything I'm saying, and it'll connect like this entire web of how YouTube monetization works and how you can make money off YouTube. And finally, fill all this stuff out. Basically, the title can stay blank. Description, I recommend having a format for it. They will click on it, they'll be interested in this content, and they'll most likely check it out. Just basically because you have keywords, which are very important. I have disclaimers again, and then I have topics covered in this video. I have topics here, which I write 10 lines out. You guys can see examples of everything I'm mentioning here on the channel, on this channel right here, which I basically write out 10 different topics, and then I have tags right here that I use, which I just simply go ahead to rapid tags, and I search up the 10 key phrases, which the key phrases are just phrases that essentially are related to the video. Even if it's like a Fortnite glitch, if it has nothing to do with XP or anything like that, I'll still put Fortnite XP glitch because I know that's the most popular type of glitch in Fortnite. And this was mainly back when I was running my Fortnite channel, although I do still upload some gaming content on this channel, like I already mentioned. But you guys simply just want to go ahead and paste all those 10 key concepts in there, and you'll get a bunch of tags. You just want to copy and paste them in here, and you guys just want to keep on going ahead and doing that until your description is completely full and you can't have any more. Now also, the main ones I would recommend doing for your actual video tags are like right here, and this varies on a video to video basis, and so having default tags is alright if you have a very niche channel. But what I would recommend doing is just from each title, copying and pasting it into there and use that for your video tags. And now finally, guys, that is all of the settings that are majorly important, I would say. There are other settings, guys, that are available, such as category, which I would recommend setting this one at least, because category is important based on CPM, which is the rate you're going to get paid at YouTube and the discovery impact of your channel. So I would recommend, if you have a channel that can even be close to how to do this, or for example, or just something relevant to that's informing at all, you want to select education. If it's for purely like educational purposes, then you guys obviously will select education. But even if it's just to inform, if it's to inform someone on sports, select education. If it's to inform people on traveling, select education. Select education no matter what, guys, as long as your content is produced to inform people. Obviously, it's produced to make money, but if the viewers are watching to get informed, select education. If it's something else, select the other topic or whatever it is. But if it's to inform on literally anything, even video games, you guys want to select education. But that is all of the basics for your YouTube channel settings, because I covered customizations, all sorts of that stuff. But now I'm going to be going over production, and I'm going to be going over shorts, videos, and live streams. And so, starting with productions, which this is just how you can make content on YouTube. I'm going to go over OBS and all sorts of that stuff in a second. But for content on YouTube, all you have to do is click here, upload a video. It will walk you through the uploading process. You make the video. Once it gets approved by YouTube and it follows all their guidelines, you will post it. And then you can watch the analytics. Sometimes they do well, sometimes they flop, whatever. Make sure you take as many opportunities as you possibly can, because every opportunity is a chance at success. So do not, especially if you have a small channel, do not be afraid in any way at all to try something new and take a risk, as long as it's not something just like random. For example, if you have a channel on Fortnite, do not upload a cooking video. That's pretty obvious. But if you want to try a new game because you figured out how to do something extremely special on that new game, then go ahead and do that. Because you're doing YouTube for money, and you have to find what works in order to make money. Soccer channel, for example. Here's Ronaldo's most insane goal. Subscribe if you like. Whatever, Portugal, whatever, something stupid. I'm just coming up with ideas on top of my head. It's 1 a.m. I'm not recording this well, but you guys basically just want to include a subscriber aspect or include a like button aspect, whatever just comes to mind, and include that in your short, guys, because shorts are such a good opportunity to gain subs. And so I'd recommend always try and get one of those in per short. And so if you have a short that goes viral, you can really capitalize off of it. And furthermore, you guys can also use shorts to link to long form videos. And again, it's hard to exactly zone in on the best practices for YouTube production. Again, like I already said, because I do not know your channel's topic, and I do not know what your end goals are, and so it's hard to do that. I'm just giving you general rules in order to follow. So these rules, guys, I would recommend following, even if you have a channel's topic that is completely drawn out from gaming. Next, for actual long form videos. Now these are probably the best to make if you guys want to make money off YouTube, hands down. Because with long form videos, you can use SEO tactics to instantly get views off of search, even if you have 0 subscribers. Because with search and SEO tricks, which I'm going to be going over inside of this video, obviously, and you guys can capitalize off of whatever opportunities there are in your subcategory, and you guys basically just want to be on top of it and following trends, and what I like to call going whichever way the wind blows. And so if something's popular in your topic, you guys basically just want to capitalize off that change, make a long form piece on it, and you want to make it searchable. So think about what people are going to be interested in this. But the point I'm trying to make is passive income off of YouTube is extremely sustainable as long as your videos can live forever, which is something else I'm going to get into, guys. Just make sure your videos can live forever, because that is extremely important on YouTube, guys, because otherwise, if your videos cannot live forever, they are not going to bring you YouTube financial freedom. So make sure the content, at least some of it that you're producing on your channel, is evergreen, and when you try and capitalize off change, that change is going to be remembered, and it's going to have some sort of greater impact than it just itself. Finally, guys, for live streams, I do not recommend doing live streams unless if you have over 100,000 subscribers. If you do not have over 100,000 subscribers and you are trying to make money off YouTube live streams, unless if you have the most hardcore dedicated audience in the world, you guys are not going to be able to monetize that. And so please do not waste your time doing live streaming unless if you guys have over 100K subs or you have an extremely dedicated audience and can hype it up with some giant project. Like, I'm counting to 1 billion on a live stream, whatever, something stupid like that. But you guys get my point. Do not do live streams. Videos are the way to go. Primarily, you guys can use shorts. You can eventually do streams once you're already established, but I would recommend doing that when starting off. So now I'm going to be going over all the tools you guys need to make videos and produce content on YouTube and everything in that alley, which is where the actual value of this starts. Because I just gone over basic stuff that literally anyone can say, but now I'm going to be going over my specifics on how I produce content on YouTube across so many channels and make an incredible amount of money for someone that literally, I almost never spend money, literally have zero expenses. I have no subscriptions. I don't think I might have one, but that's it. And that's just as simple as it gets, because I'm going to be going over everything that you guys need to know about how you can actually make the actual content on YouTube now. You are monetized now. You got accepted. You followed the rules on YouTube's community guidelines and their advertiser-friendly policies. You did not use AI voices or reuse content too heavily. And if you did, you did it in a supplemental way. But now, this is how you can monetize off of YouTube in the most efficient manner possible. And also, you even have external monetization forces. So, after you guys get accepted, if you do, which you guys, it's not very hard as long as you follow their guidelines, they'll accept you. But all you have to do is, once you get accepted, enable watch page ads on all of your content. I'll give you the option to do that. Make sure you guys are going to do that. And make sure now, this is very important now, use copyright-free music. If you guys do not have any copyright-free music, go to the Creator Music Beta, whatever. And if you guys go to browse, you guys can search for price, $0, and then license or whatever. You want to go to all the $0 ones. And you can either use NCS, you can go to ncs.io, which is a website, ncs.io, and download instrumental songs and like other like trappy songs, whatever, and you guys can use these songs copyright free, the majority of them. And if you are scared at all still, you can still look up, I think, Kevin McLeod, which if you guys have ever heard the song Monkey Spinning Monkeys, or any of those songs, like the basic background songs like this. Yeah, most of you guys probably know what that is if you watch gaming videos growing up. But that is what it is. You guys can use his music copyright free as long as you put, like, there's some text you have to copy in the description. You can download the songs, use it in video editing, and they'll basically just be a part that you have to put in your description. Make sure you rate your videos accurately. Again, all your videos should follow the advertiser-friendly guidelines. If they don't, you're going to have an extremely hard time. When I did 4-day modding content, for some reason, YouTube just would not trust me, no matter what, even though I had good ratings sometimes. And as long as you rate your videos accurately, like the first 20 videos, they're going to use AI systems to detect whether it's fair for monetization. And like I said, if it's even a bit edgy, put a disclaimer at the beginning, because sometimes you do have to submit it in for human review to see if it's eligible for monetization. And that disclaimer will really help the human reviewer and understand how your content does not violate the policies, if it is even slightly edgy. Although otherwise you should be fine, just appealing normally if the AI does make a mistake. But all of your content should be able to be monetized. Again, super is right here. This was big back when I did 4-night live streams. Shopping, this is if you have hardcore fans and you have like merchandise or products you want to sell, which you can even link at Shopify now. Giving, which is like donations and stuff to charities. And memberships, which I recommend setting up. And you guys should make memberships just in case, by the chance, especially if you make quality content, which you guys, if you're a quality channel, then definitely do memberships, because people will be interested and they'll have an emotional connection to you and they might be considered becoming a member. I'd recommend pricing it pretty low, different things. But you guys want to go ahead right here, and since this video is very long, I know it looks like I spammed ads because this video is like long, like there's like a minute in between each of these. I know it sounds horrible, like no one's gonna ever watch a minute, like there's an ad every minute, but YouTube doesn't roll ads that often. And when they do it like every 2 to 5 minutes. And so they're not having to watch every single one of these ads, but I'm placing so many of them that whenever there's a chance for them to see one, they are seeing one regardless. So I maximize my earnings. It's not going to make the viewer experience horrible. It's just going to maximize how much I can make. There's going to be an ad every 5 minutes or so, which is not horrible when you think about it. If you watch a 10-minute video, you might get 2, maybe 3 at most ads in the middle, but I think that probably like 2 is more realistic. But just put as many as you can. Do not fully spam it, but space them out a little bit. Thank you guys for watching this. I'm going to keep this pretty quickly, but again, externally monetizing is very important. It's vital to making money off YouTube. It's literally almost 2:30 a.m., so stick with me. And I recommend you at least do 3 to 5 streams of income depending on your channel topic and depending on what it is. Again, if you're making kids videos just for money, again, as long as you're experienced and you're knowledgeable at least a little bit. Again, it just depends on your channel topic. Although I recommend with most of the topics you guys are going to be doing, probably about 3 to 5 external monetization income streams are good. From my 3 main, I had link trafficking, like the link for ties to download the mods, my support a creator code in Fortnite Epic Games, which basically whenever they spent money, I got a portion of it. And finally, my third income source was the stack, which is the CPA link, and basically the links I use to make money off that. And that works too. That made me my most amount of money, basically because it took their information and they consented. By the way, it's fully legal. They consented and it added it to the giveaway pot. Yes, the giveaways were real. You have a very slim chance of winning, but you consent to giving your information in return for actually entering. So it's completely fine. It's completely legal. It's completely within YouTube's contest policy things. And also, by the way, there's also other campaigns that you can do, like with websites like CPA builds. I'm pretty sure that got bought recently and they're transitioning it, but you get the idea. And you can use all these programs to externally monetize your content. If you develop a quality channel and you develop a personal connection, if you're doing a personal channel, you can either do like a Patreon if you have a really enjoyable personality, or just whatever, or if you have exclusive content. You guys get the idea. And never get lazy or stop innovating doing the short-term success. I see so many people get lucky off of YouTube Shorts, literally just die their channel, and after 100K, they get their silver play button, they're monetized, they get verified, they think they're shit, and then 1 year later, they literally have no resemblance of everything they did. They just work for a play button, and they work for a vacation mark, and then after that, who cares? So that you guys do not want to get hung up on. Even if you get to the point where you're making hundreds of dollars a day off YouTube, do not stop pumping out content. Do not stop working as hard as you already did. You cannot stop until you are fully sustained and completely secure off of YouTube. Because YouTube, literally, if your channel gets monetized tomorrow, right after the day you stopped working, you are screwed. So you have to keep on working and make the most out of everything. You have to squeeze everything out of the lemon of YouTube. Because if you guys do not, you will be missing out. It's a huge mistake. Make sure you milk everything as thoroughly as possible, especially when it comes to your own personal content and when it comes to making money. Again, every opportunity is an idea worth trying. So make sure if you get an idea, put it in an opportunity, make a video on it, produce content as much as possible. You guys want to do quantity over quality for most of you guys. I'm going to say most of you guys. Unless if you have really good editing skills, really good Photoshop skills, most of you guys are going to be better at just quantity. And then also streamline content. Again, if you're outsourcing things like getting thumbnails done, getting editors done, make it as basic as possible. Hire people from India off of Upwork or Fiverr so you can get it done extremely cheaply. And again, you guys can make the hamster wheel of content and just constantly be churning out videos, and that is when your income is going to start flying, as long as you've acquired some knowledge and you've acquired some experience, a little bit of luck, and you have a bit of a work ethic and a drive to succeed on YouTube. Like I already said, stay open-minded to expanding, even if you're successful. Like I already said, I always am looking for new ways to make money off YouTube. I don't just find what works and just stick to it like completely hard ingrained in me, because I know something else could work out, something else could be new, something else could be bigger, so I always keep that in mind. Subscribers do not equal money. There's people with tens of millions of subscribers off YouTube. Like for example, the channel I edit for and did management work for, that's over 10 million subscribers, which I'm gonna have a diamond play button for soon, which is insane. Like 14 years old diamond play button, like what the fuck? But but the point I'm trying to make is that they don't even make that much money. Like they do full shorts, and they're in Hindi, they're in India. I just did SEO work for them. That's how I got it, like search engine optimization. But it's like they don't even make that much money because they're in India. The shorts are in Hindi, low CPM, even lower since it's shorts. You guys get the idea. This subscribers does not equal money, so do not let big numbers fool you. You guys do have to implement some of these monetization tactics I did go over if you guys would like to make good money. Again, everything I'm going over in this video is applicable to everyone because I want this video to be able to be used by literally everyone watching this. I can't go in depth to many topics because it just depends on like too many factors about your channel. Finally, scale everything to its maximum potential. Do not stop scaling. I know it's like it gets daunting when you have to hire people and do all sorts of this stuff so you can make more money. But if it might be a few bumps in the road, but do not let that stop you from being able to achieve financial freedom off YouTube. I try to keep as much of the stuff to me as I can because I do have lots of time now because I don't have to take up a full-time job. And even if I did have to take up a full-time job, I basically can do YouTube as a full-time job technically. And that is what I like most about it, even though I'd be working so many hours a day, because I would want to take everything to the maximum as possible, like I already do, which is the reason I make hundreds of dollars a day at such an incredibly young age. We're running at an absolute, and I mean absolute maximum efficiency. You need to make your channel a cash cow if you want to achieve financial freedom off YouTube, and if you want to be lying down in the Maldives and just watching YouTube income and coming in on views. If you eventually hire people to do some of these processes, you can eventually step back from the channel, and that's when the financial freedom starts. Is when you do not have to be the face, unless we do a personality channel. And even if that, then your viewers should still feel emotional connection to you, which is even easier to monetize. You can do like Patreon and stuff like that. But you need to monetize your channel the best way possible, and do not stop growing even if you're fulfilled, because there's always another mountain to climb off YouTube. I don't want to sound too generic and don't want to sound too cliche or boring, but make sure you never quit. YouTube is exponential, takes a lot of time, and you learn through experience to see success. So be patient with it, give it some time, work hard, and I'll see you at the top of YouTube. Thank you guys all for watching this, and I really do appreciate you guys actually taking this seriously. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. It's hard to provide value without getting too in-depth into like stuff like channel topics. And also 2:30 a.m. I literally have schoolwork to do tomorrow, and I don't want to complain, but I do really appreciate you guys actually taking the time to watch this. I hope I dropped some valuable knowledge, and I really do hope this helps you get started on your YouTube journey to make money and to become financially free. Thank you guys for all watching, and I really do hope and can't wait to see you guys get success on YouTube. So guys, now I would like to mention how you can manage a content production cycle. Now, managing a content production cycle is extremely important. It is one of the most important things you need to do on YouTube. That managing a content production cycle is actually, oddly enough, is what I did to get this. This is because I managed a content production cycle. I didn't actually make any of the content myself, but I managed everyone that was a part of this, and that's why I have this amazing diamond play button. And so, as you guys can see, managing a content production cycle does pay off a lot. But now I'm going to be going over how you guys can actually go in and do it, whether it's for your own channel or if you're going to do something similar to me. Like, I manage people's channels too, and as you can see, I got this by managing someone's channel. I don't actually have 10 million subscribers, believe it or not. This channel has like 2,000 subscribers, but I am friends with lots of people that do have lots of subscribers, and I have had channels in the past with lots and lots of subscribers too. But as you guys can see, this is what managing a content production cycle can get you. If you guys know what you're doing. So now let's get into how you guys can actually go ahead and do that. So let me set this down, and now let's get into it. So when it comes to managing a content production cycle, what I would recommend you guys do is first figure out, are you going to be a quality channel or a quantity channel? I would recommend overwhelmingly for most of you guys to be a quality channel, at least when starting, because you'll get better results. I think initially. You guys can be a quantity channel and do one long form video a day, but again, I would recommend doing quality because quality gives you more leeway, especially if your videos are super high quality and they can retain people and people are waiting for your next video. If they're doing that, then that's really good. And if you're just sort of on a treadmill, just trying to get on trend, on daily trends for like soccer or whatever, and just constantly trying to cover the latest updates every single day to stay relevant, then that can be a little bit difficult, and that can be tiring, and yeah, that can lead to burnout. I've gotten to the point where I really don't get burnout anymore. and just get tons of stress from things that would normally be stressful. But again, like I already stated, you need to make sure your content production cycle is smooth and have a quality quantity balance decided. So once you guys decide that, you want to create a schedule for yourself. It's a content schedule, not like you don't need to create a full day schedule, but when you guys create a content schedule, you either want to decide on what you're going to do. For example, on this channel, I'm planning to do after this course, I'm planning to do daily shorts, probably about 3 a day. And then I'm gonna do those daily shorts, and I might make a long form video about once every week or so, and then I would make maybe a long form video after I had 100k subs about daily, because I really want this channel to be a long form channel, not a shorts channel. I'm only using shorts to actually go ahead and drive viewers to the course, and so again, that's where the shorts, the exposure through shorts really helps. But as I already mentioned, make sure you guys have a content production cycle. In each cycle, guys, it is first you have to record your video or compile the layers or stuff. Like for example, stock footage, you want to get that all set up. Music, you want to get that all set up. Any pictures or assets you need for a video, you guys want to get all that set up, put it all in a folder and make it nice. And so your video is ready. Then you have to go in and do the editing, because every good video needs editing. And then also go ahead and if you have to do a voiceover, all this sort of stuff. And then you have to make a thumbnail, you have to do titles. You have to basically make sure it all sounds good and checks out. And that's the content production cycle. That I helped to manage that. I helped manage the channel, and I also helped I also gave them some tips, which is the reason I have that diamond play button right there. And so that's what I recommend all of you guys, is make sure that when you go ahead and manage your content production cycle, it is something where you don't have to sacrifice quality or quantity, but you can still be quick. You guys need to understand you have to be able to churn out content quickly on YouTube. That's why I can make 3 to 5 YouTube shorts a day. I can make 5 YouTube shorts a day, and they would still be high quality, and they would still be well made. So that's what I recommend. Like I already mentioned, I'm saying that a lot, but you need to have a good speed when it comes to doing these things. Because if you guys don't have a good speed, this is just not going to be sufficient. You need to have speed when you do a content production cycle. Now, again, plan out long form videos, plan out short form videos. Don't allocate them to days directly, but say, hey, if I'm gonna make 3 long form videos a week, and you don't have to send them on days, but I want them to generally be spaced out by 1 day each. And so every other day uploads, I guess, is what you would be doing. And then also on the other days, I don't upload a long form video. I want a short to be uploaded to promote the last long form video. When something like that can be, you guys can obviously keep up with that well if you guys can do that and maintain either your quantity or quality balance, whatever it is, or if it's just a direct balance, then yeah, make sure you guys can maintain that. And if that works, that's what you guys want to go ahead and do. You want to churn out content like that on different topics, whatever is trending, whatever is sort of coming up. Because again, that's what really matters when you guys are making content. Making sure it's evergreen is also helpful too. I'm talking about that in the content trick section, but managing a content production cycle, it's a little bit more complicated. And what I would recommend for all of you guys to do is use shorts to promote your long form content. No matter what you're doing, use YouTube shorts, maybe even Instagram Reels and TikTok too, because you can repurpose that content very easily and promote it, sort of like what I'm doing with this course and like on Instagram and TikTok. But you guys can very easily repurpose it and drive it to where it's needed and drive traffic to your long form content. So I would recommend making evergreen content too. So content can be lived on forever, and so the video always stays valid. And so even from a decade or when you're dead, it would still get real viewers that would actually be interested in the content. So that's what you should do in regards to the content production cycle. There's also something else you should take note of, is when you guys are going to get these short form viewers over to long form, you have to make sure you can retain them. I already talked about this, just retaining the viewers in general, the subscribers, but the content production cycle cannot sacrifice any sort of element of humanity or any sort of element of authenticity. So make sure the content stays authentic. If anything, guys, the content production cycle should be slower and be better rather than faster and more crazy and choppy, like sort of what I did when I was doing Fortnite content. I would pop out like 3 long form videos a day with multiple shorts each to promote them. because I was just constantly trying to push out more and more and more, even if the stuff I was trying to push out was worse and worse and worse, because I was already so far in when I was making Fortnite videos to this low quality crappy content. I just thought I should just keep on pushing through instead of trying to make a quality video, because if I did that, it'll get like 200 views, nothing will happen of it, because YouTube will just treat it just like it was one of my crappy videos that I just did out of laziness. So again, that's why content production cycles matter so much, and that you do have something to find out. Now, a content production cycle often revolves around how long your video is, or how well or how heavily it's edited. And so, again, this is stuff that needs to be planned out for. And when it comes to content types, you want to make sure if it's something that goes irrelevant quickly, like for example, sporting updates, like after a week, unless it's like the Super Bowl or the World Cup. Does it really stay relevant for that long? If it doesn't, if it's just like a weekend sporting thing, again, you want to make sure you're constantly getting on all of those dates, and you want to make sure you're constantly giving updates, because again, it will go irrelevant at different points, but you want to make sure you are still retaining people on your content. So you need to make sure you make frequent updates and essentially cash in at every checkpoint you get. Just do not sacrifice your content quality, or do not just go full out quantity, because that's probably the biggest mistake people make. And once you fall in that trap, you cannot get out of it. I mean it. Once you say, I'm going to disregard quality, I'm just going to pump out videos on every opportunity I see, I'm going to jump every opportunity, I don't care how well I jump it, I'm just going to make sure I jump it, even if it's very choppy, even if it's not well done, it doesn't matter. That's where the problems start to arise. So to keep things simple, just make good videos and make sure the content production cycle works around that, because again, your content production cycle is your choice. I'm not giving you a recommendation. I can tell you what I do, but I don't recommend it openly. If you can make 3 long-form, high-quality YouTube videos every single day, and you have a full team of 100 editors behind you, and can manage all of that, good for you. But if you can only make 1 long-form YouTube video every 90 days, but every single time it releases, it's an hour long, and it feels like it's a whole full-on movie with Adobe After Effects, multiple layers of editing, extremely complicated stuff. If you guys could do stuff like that and make amazing productions, but you can only release them once every 90 days, and when you do, they're an hour long, stuff like that works too. It really varies depending on your content type, and it really varies depending on, is your topic of the channel evergreen? If it's not, you guys have to move a bit faster. If it is evergreen, then what you can easily, it might not be as quick to getting views, but it will slowly start to accumulate over time, and once you start to snowball your channel, you will see the general snowball effect, which is where the magic takes place. So those are the best tips and tricks I can give you for this. There's a few more things I want to go over in regards to making content. So first thing is, when you guys are going through your content production cycle, plan for honestly the unexpected, because constantly the amount of times I've had recording files get corrupted, or something didn't go right, I didn't take a thumbnail I needed to, just whatever. You have to be willing to either accept that it's going to just take it normally takes longer than you think it is going to take. I've learned how to become efficient over the past 4 years, but it is still very slow when I try and get things done, especially when I'm trying to rapidly get through things. And so again, make sure you know what you're doing, and make sure you give yourself some leeway, but it is still very efficient, because efficiency matters the most. If you guys want to make money off YouTube, there's no other word I would recommend more when it comes to making money off of YouTube rather than efficiency. And I like to use the concept, and you'll learn this a lot in my Discord, of absolute efficiency, because you guys cannot be inefficient in any regard at all if you guys want to make the most money possible. And so you have to be on top of everything, and if you are, then that is absolutely brilliant. And that's why it matters what topic you do, because if you're on a topic you're unknowledgeable in, or just choosing to do it because it has a good CPM, then you're destined to fail. And that's what I recommend in terms of making a production cycle. You know, it doesn't have to be too firm. You guys can alternate depending on what works and what doesn't work. Just don't take that and say, oh, well, this video worked really well and I fell off my content production cycle. So no, you want to make sure the production cycle works well for you churning out the videos that consistently perform well. If one video outperforms another video, that's not instantly a sign that however you did that video, it just does better. It could just be something like that topic was more trendy, or YouTube just might have been willing to bless your video a little bit more in the algorithm. Who knows? Again, most of it is just trying to get lucky. Yeah, YouTube is an aspect. There is an aspect of luck. But you have to first actually make good content. You're not just going to get lucky out of the blue. That's why most YouTube channels never take off. Even if they do have good content, is because you need to know what you're doing to a degree. And make sure you promote your videos through all the different means possible. Good title, good thumbnail, engaging video. Make sure you're promoting it through like short form content. Make sure you're sharing it on other social media platforms if possible. If there is, for example, help forms and your video is basically explaining something, you guys can post it there. Share your video around. You gotta get the snowball started somehow, and don't expect it to be fast, because again, if you expect it to be fast, you're going to get so burned out in the content production cycle because you're going to be putting all this time in and not getting any results in. And so, sort of take a step back and figure out what works before you go super deep in, and that's what I recommend for anyone starting out. As you see on my main YouTube channel, I have around 2K subscribers, and if I go ahead and put this up, I have around 2K subs, and if you guys see, I have around 90,000 channel views. And so I have around 22 videos, about half of them are probably shorts. I have a few good long form videos that have good views, but as you see, my channel is not anything crazy big. It's somewhat sufficient, but it's not anything crazy. So with this, as you see, my YouTube channel is technically alright. It's not super duper amazing, but it is. I'm not really starting it until this course comes out. I have one more video that I'm posting, and then after that video, I'm gonna post this course, and hopefully it does well. Because if you're making videos on something like finance, you have no clue what a tax bracket is, or you have no clue what a paycheck is. You are not going to get very far, and so you have to be knowledgeable on the topic you're making content on. So do not sacrifice that for CPM. Again, that plays into the content production cycle too. I probably said content production cycle about 25,000 times. So sorry if I'm repeating myself here, but you need to make sure those essentials are all in check. Because if they aren't, then you're doomed to fail from the start. Now guys, but apart from the content production cycle, I'm going to hop into the conclusion of this, because you guys have probably watched this entire course. You guys are somewhat knowledgeable now. I'm going to conclude this up and basically tell you what you need to take away from this course and what I would recommend for you guys to all go do right now.
So for those of you guys that are here, there are simply 2 ways you guys can really make money off YouTube. And I'm going to be going over both of them, because if you guys made it through that, you're through the beginner stages, and now you guys know how to run a channel. You know the very finite basics. I couldn't get into too much detail because I consider that to be technically the Old Testament of the YouTube course, mainly just because that has very generic information that everyone could somewhat apply and hopefully learn from. But now, let's get into how to monetize your channel, because this is where it starts to get serious. So, after you guys have figured something out, you've made content, you've seen what works, as long as you just keep on making content, I promise eventually you'll see something sort of work, even if it gets 70 views compared to your videos normally getting 15 views. You guys can sort of see what works and build from there. And once you guys find, whatever topic it is, whatever thought-provoking idea it is, when you make that video, once you redo it and just sort of change an element of it, eventually your channel will start to get traction, more. Why am I talking like I'm British? What the hell? But your channel will eventually start to get more and more traction. And as you keep on producing this content, eventually it'll have a snowball effect. And as you guys know, when the snowball effect basically happens, your channel will slowly work its way to virality. And so what you guys have to do is, whenever you see something slightly work, build off of that and just keep on building off of it, especially if it's not a timely thing. If it's a concept, just a basic concept of some sort of video idea, like what would happen if the sun disappeared for 24 hours, like that. If that worked for you, just do another one, like what would happen if water disappeared for 24 hours. So you guys, if you're making like those types of videos, that's what I recommend, although that's just an example. So build off of what works is the easiest way to get the channel snowball effect. But once you guys get that snowball effect, you guys will get going in no time. You'll start to get your first growth on YouTube, and eventually you guys will get to the point of monetization. Now, once you guys get monetized, there are a few ways you guys can go about it. The first way is you guys can internally monetize your channel. And now this is probably going to be the most important thing, and this is how you make most of your money. You guys can externally monetize, though for most of you guys, that's probably not going to make you the majority of your money. If you guys do run a channel that's more focused, less on amassing views rather than amassing views to convert over to a separate business, if that is your goal, then you guys can do that. Although if you're just trying to make money off your content purely, and that mainly be the main aspect of how you draw in money, then you really just have to hope and work on your content until it just develops into more monetizable. And what I mean by that is you want to make content that is evergreen. And I cannot state this enough, make sure, unless if your channel is specifically on some sort of news and some sort of thing, you need to make your content evergreen. And the reason is that content can live forever. It can even outlive you. And so I recommend making your content be like you want to make sure it can be rewatched, but not necessarily rewatched, but also watched back in 100 years. And what I mean by that is you want it to still be useful at that point, even if it's not in the same way useful. You still want your content to have some relativity to it, and you do not just want your content to just last a week. Like if you make a video on something that happens in a week and then eventually becomes all news, no one cares about it, your content's not going to live on, it relies on you. And the way you make money on YouTube passively is by making evergreen content. If you guys need a good example of a channel that does this extremely well, like unbelievably well, look at the YouTube channel Oversimplified. I like history videos, I'm into history, but if you guys watch their videos, you'll notice they are extremely well done and compelling. They only make videos, and I'm pretty sure it's a team of 2. They might have some other people that do it, but it's a very small team, and they do it extremely professionally. They're unbelievably skilled at what they do, and these animations are super entertaining. They're actually slightly educational too, and they manage to tell a great story in the best possible way. It's unbelievable. Probably some of the highest quality content on YouTube. And their content lives forever. And so their content will still be making them money once their grandchildren are no longer here. I mean that truly. This channel will be making money forever. And that is what you guys want for your content. You want your content to outlive you. And I know it sounds annoying, like I have to figure out what content is actually going to still be interesting in it, but unless if your channel is purely just focused on picking up what's new, you guys have to do that, because otherwise you'll be stuck in a hamster wheel for the rest of your life pumping out content, and you'll never find fulfillment. I promise. It's a scary prospect, but you guys have to take my advice on that. I mean that seriously, with all good intentions. You guys have to make evergreen content if you want your primary income source to be internal monetization from YouTube, like ad revenue, like super thanks, all that sort of stuff, which ad revenue is the main thing, obviously, but you guys have to go ahead and make sure the content lives on forever. Now, if you guys are struggling to get views on your long form content, you guys can also use YouTube Shorts and just add a related video, which is a new feature. You guys can go ahead and add a related video to the content. And when you guys go in and do that, it simply will allow the people from the short, if you promote it and if the short's flashy enough, which if you guys need examples, look at my shorts on this channel. They're not very well done, but they're well enough to, if someone sees it, they'll hear me out. And so if you guys need an example, look at the shorts and see how flashy, fast-paced they are. Now, once you guys sort of get that style down and you learn editing, which editing is probably the most crucial aspect to succeed on YouTube, and so make sure you guys learn how to edit properly, especially if you're making content that relies heavily on either you as a person. If your channel is faceless, or I wouldn't recommend doing this, but voiceless, because voiceless can get you demonetized even if you use AI voices. So I really wouldn't recommend doing that. I would recommend at least using your voice if you don't want to use your face. But what you guys want to go ahead and do from there is simply just make content that outlives you. And when you make shorts, promote your long form videos. make it very clear and deliberate that they have to click on the related video to get what they want from this short. So hook them in by saying, here's what would have happened if the sun disappeared for 24 hours, and then go through the list, and then get to the more, as you go down the list in the short, get down to the more and more extreme and crazy things that will happen, and then say the craziest, to find out what the craziest thing is, go ahead and click on the related video below. You say that really quickly at the end, and you have some sort of arrow or something like that pointing at the related video button so people know where it is. They'll click on that video, you'll immediately get ad revenue from pre-roll ads, and they will watch that video until the end because you've compelled them to watch it. And that content can live forever because the sun's not going to live forever, well, but you guys get the idea, alright? That content can live forever. And there's two ways to make content that can live forever. There's humor, and then there's also storytelling. So you either have to tell a story or you guys have to use humor if your content does not provoke necessarily any interest or something like that. So if you guys are making content that's meant to entertain, which you're either entertaining, persuading, or you guys could use informing, but if you're doing entertaining, there's two ways. You have to either make it extreme, you have to make it funny so it can be rewatched, or if you're doing entertainment, you have to tell a really good story, and you have to tell the story very damn well. And if you need a good example of a channel that does both of them, like I already mentioned, go watch Oversimplified. You guys can see and copy their blueprint. If you guys know animation, I don't, but they do it extremely well. And that is a great channel to look off of when it comes to making high quality content that outlives you. So that's what I would recommend, guys, if you want to monetize your YouTube content very well. And so that is honestly about section 1 for this. So if you guys are trying to monetize your content internally, that is what you guys can do. And now I'm going to talk about external monetization and how you guys can monetize your content externally. And by the way, a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, the YouTube Partner Program, I'm not accepted. You guys need to get 4K watch hours. There's no way around it. And you guys have to get 1K subs. If you guys really want to, I'm pretty sure, and now don't do this because this is against YouTube terms of service. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You guys could technically buy a package on Upwork and get your video promoted for free. Even though I'm pretty sure they do a Google Ads campaign, which is allowed. So if you guys want to, you guys can probably find a service on Upwork that'll give you 4K watch hours and 1K subs. Although I wouldn't recommend doing it, guys, because it can be pretty edgy. Although only do it at your discretion, and that still won't make your channel go viral. So it's just going to give you access to monetization. And by the way, the 3K watch hour thing is completely stupid. You have to get the 4,000 hours of watch time to get ads on your videos, which is the most important thing. So now let's talk about external monetization and how you guys can monetize your content externally, because that is just as important as internal monetization.
Now guys, I'm going to be going over how you guys can go ahead and grow your revenue. This is the fun part. Now you're monetized, now you're making some good money, but here is how you guys can go ahead and expand that, grow that, and even externally monetize a little bit, because I do know all of the best means to monetization and how you guys can go ahead and monetize your content in the most efficient way possible. This is probably the most important thing when it comes to actually going ahead and monetizing your content, is making sure the monetization is efficient, or monetization efficiency, because it is so important that your content is monetized in the best way, because if it is not, you can be losing out on money right now as we speak if your content is not being monetized correctly. So I'm going to go over a few different ways on how you guys can go ahead and increase your ad revenue, and then I'm going to go over how you guys can increase other types of revenue, including external revenue, and go over a few external revenue avenues that you guys can go ahead and go down. Okay, that rhymed for whatever reason, but let's get into it because I don't want to waste any time. So for internal revenue, guys, what I would recommend is when it comes to video advertising, especially, make sure when you guys go ahead and put ads in a video, that when you guys go ahead and I'll just show my screen. When you guys go ahead and put ads in a video, like I have a video right here with about 20K views, it's made me so much money because the topic has an extremely high CPM. But make sure you guys, I wouldn't really recommend it changing your channel niche or topic or whatever to get a higher CPM, because that's mostly just stupid. If you built an audience on something else, go off that something else and just work on increasing views and bringing more people into that topic. But as you see, I got like 21,000 views on this thing. And with the advertisements, what I did is I put advertisements about, this was smart, I made the video a little bit over 8 minutes. So the view duration would still be relatively good. If the video was like 15 minutes or like an hour long, then it would obviously be bad because people wouldn't be watching the entire thing. but I made around 8 minutes, which is sort of reasonable for this. It's still a little bit dragged out, but the reason I did that is because at 8 minutes you can put mid-roll ads in it, and also I enable all the monetization things, and then I place the ads as I like. Normally how I place them is I place them every 1 or 2 minutes, and when you place an ad, make sure you place them twice, because if you do not place the ad twice, then it's not guaranteed to roll. And even if it's placed twice, it's not guaranteed to roll. But if it does roll, there's a good chance you'll also roll a second ad for the viewer. And I recommend doing them about every minute. They're not always going to roll, so don't worry about spamming the viewer with ads. And they no longer show up on the timeline, so you're completely fine having lots of ads, because they're only going to show them a few of them, but they will be showing them at maximum efficiency. And apart from this, you guys can also go ahead and increase revenue by making your videos longer and also making your videos getting better viewer attention, which also matters too. So if you guys want to increase your revenue, make your videos a little bit longer, just slightly, but do not do it in a way that harms the viewer duration. If it harms the viewer duration, don't do it at all. But just focus on increasing the view duration first, and then you guys can start to gradually make your videos longer, put some more ads in it. And that's what I recommend to increase your revenue on YouTube when it comes to ad revenue. And also things like memberships and donations, stuff that you can mess with on your own. But again, you guys can create incentives. For example, on my membership on this channel, I have different perks for each level, and I also have basically you get a cool badge if you become a member on this channel, and it's only $1. So a lot of people do become members to get the badge, and so that's what I recommend doing, is incentivize them or have some incentive. And now I'm going to go over a few different external monetization means that you guys can go ahead and use to further the amount of revenue that you make. And because as you make content and manage your content production cycle, which is probably the final thing I'm going to go over in this course, you will need to be able to monetize fluently, and you will need to be doing this constantly. Because if you guys miss out on money, it's going to hurt you, and especially when you go through low periods, you're going to need that extra cash, because you're not always guaranteed to have a steady flow of revenue or income, especially when you're running a online business based off of a YouTube channel, or multiple, depending on what you're doing. But I would recommend starting off with just one channel. Now, if I go over to desktop, there's a few different ways you guys can go in and externally monetize. The first thing is something like Linkvertise. This is a program that, all these programs, by the way, guys, I will be going more in depth on inside of my Discord group, which you guys can get in for $1. And I'm going to be going in more in depth on all of these. I'll be answering all of your questions. I'll help you guys inside of there. So make sure you guys join that. But as you see, this is a program called Linkvertise. I'll have a link below to this if you guys want to use it. I'll be in the resources. As you can see, you guys can go ahead and get this. For example, this will allow you to create a monetizable link. So for example, if you're making like a download or like a gaming mod, or you making something where you guys can put a link, where it's a link, what you guys can do is you can put it behind this thing, and it will actually, as you go through it, it'll let you customize it, and it'll let you put ads on the link. So they can still access it for free, and they can still get through it for free, but they will have to go through some like basic advertisement steps. I used to do this when I did like Fortnite mods, and as you guys can see, if I just pasted a link in like that, as you can see, it will require them to do some basic steps. So after they get here, they will have to click on free access with ads, and then click on get blue or whatever this is. I completely forgot whatever I made this link for. Oh yeah, and then this is like something for Fortnite or whatever. But yeah, as you can see, guys, they'll have to go through some ads most likely, and I don't know why the web page isn't really loading that well, but you guys get the idea. You guys can use services like that to monetize your links for free. Now, another way you guys can go ahead and externally monetize is you guys can use affiliate programs. Lots of different programs have them. Almost every program you can imagine. Now, what free cash is actually doesn't matter for this video. What does matter is that, as you guys can see, they have a referral program. And if I copy the link and refer people like my viewers to this program, I make a commission depending on how many people I refer and how much they make. So right now I would make a 5% commission on based off what they earned, and then after I make $10, they'll give me another one. They'll bump it up basically, but they try. So this referral program tries to make it so to actually get to the good part of making money, you have to climb through tons and tons of referrals. So you already made the company loads of money before you get to the 30%. But you guys generally get the idea. And with free cash, it really doesn't matter the program or what you're doing. It just matters that you are referring people to a program that you guys can get paid on without them having to sign up for like a subscription service, because obviously not everyone has money to do that. But again, this is something that they can do for free. So I recommend going off of free referral programs where your audience can do something for free. And it can be tuned to whatever your content is. So if your content is not about getting money for free, you guys can probably find a referral program to something related to your content. For example, if you're doing video editing tutorials, there's probably something like, for example, like Adobe software, I'm pretty sure you can create an affiliate link for. Literally just about anything can be, almost everything has an affiliate link for it. So any software, any programs that you're selling to your audience, you should link through an affiliate link. Next up, guys, is something I like to do a lot. It's called stacks, and this is just called CPA in general, which is basically when you guys get paid for actually going ahead and getting viewers to install an app. If you guys have ever seen an app or an ad on the app Sweatcoin, that's because YouTubers and just creators in general are getting paid to promote that app. People are getting paid to promote the app, and it's not like a normal paid promotion. They're getting paid off of the amount of downloads they get. And when they get a download, they actually get like $1, and which sounds like nothing. But if you think about it, if you get like 10,000 or 1,000 people just to download an app, that's $1,000. And believe it or not, it's actually not that difficult to do that, especially in short form content like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, that sort of stuff. It's not that difficult to do that. And it does work out very, very well. And you guys can create a post and you get paid for it. It's super simple. If you guys are more interested in stacks and going ahead and running these like advertising campaigns, this will all be in my Discord server. This is actually probably one of the biggest income sources I personally have, because it is so amazing, and it is, I genuinely cannot put this into words, but it is so easy to make money. This is probably the easiest money I've ever made in my life. Is this thing right here. Yeah, I've had some YouTube videos that have blown up out of nowhere on different channels, but those were one-time things. This was my biggest sustainable income source. That was, I would say, that was so easy, because YouTube, I had to put work in to make good videos, but this was so easy, and it was extremely lazy. It's extremely templated content, and I was raking it in with this. I was making hundreds of dollars a day, and it's super simple, especially if you guys have no clue on how to make long form content, because you guys can go ahead and use this to make short form content too. As I'd even say, for some of this stuff, short form content works better as we can reach more people. So this is another thing that you guys can go ahead and consider. It's like CPI campaigns are like click per install, and then CPA is click per action. All these campaigns, guys, I would recommend considering. The other thing is that you can sell a product too. Like, for example, I'm selling this for $1. It's my YouTube Discord server course. And all you guys, it's not like a course, but it's like a community, and I'm going to be going over just about everything that you guys need to know inside of there. I'm going to be helping you guys, and I'm going to actually authentically help you guys. I'm not just going to give you some generic information. I'm going to actually help you guys. And I sell this for like $1 and for the first month. So yeah, that's another thing, guys. You guys can sell product or service. And then finally, there's also paid promotions, sponsorships, and brand deals, and all these sort of things you guys can actually go ahead and make money off of too. Because, like, for example, I was paid to promote this company, and when I was paid to promote it, they offered me, like, I don't know, I can't say the amount, but it was a good amount. It was more than I deserved for the amount of viewership I had at this channel at the time. And so again, that's what I recommend that you guys do. I recommend something like that. But those are all the things I really just did want to recommend you guys, because those are the best ways to go ahead and externally monetize. Again, if you were looking to get sponsorships, it's not going to come instantly. But if you guys have your email linked in all of your YouTube videos descriptions, and you also have your business email, don't use the same email as your Google account, by the way. That makes it super easy for your channel to get hacked. Make sure you guys make a new email and then put it in either your YouTube channel about section and the description of all your videos in the upload defaults. But that's what I recommend. Companies and brand deals might come up, and also paid promotions too. They're really all the same thing, and they'll email you about it. Make sure it's legit. If it's in crooked English, or the details are unspecific, or it says we're waiting on you to comply with us, or anything like that. If it's not from an actual legitimate email address, from a legit email, then it likely is completely fake, and they're just going to try and make you download some virus. Again, do not download anything from these emails. If they ask you to download something, make sure it is from a trusted platform. And also make sure before you run anything you download, you put it in a virus checker first, which is a program that just will make sure everything works. Again, you get good at spotting these things over time. This is not going to come naturally. But if you're unsure just don't do it. It's not worth it. I promise. It's not worth losing everything you built, because as soon as you run one some of these programs, they have everything. Your entire computer is gone, and it doesn't matter. So make sure you guys are careful in regards to that stuff. Without further ado, guys, we're gonna move on to the next section.
Now, external monetization. There are many ways to go about this, and honestly, this really just depends on your content type. And I mean that in your audience type. If you have an audience that is interested in finance and is interested in how to make money online, what you do is you just need very simple, and it's called, if I was your audience, how would you market to me? Think and put yourself in your viewer's shoes. What would I want in exchange for money to give this guy? And also, it doesn't have to be necessarily money. Or what does your audience want? First thing to figure out is, what does your audience want? If you're giving them information, that is about as easy as it is. Because remember, there's 3 types of content: information, persuasion, and entertainment. So if it's information, very, very simply, all you have to do is you guys simply just have to give them information, whether that be a guide, a course, whatever. Now, you want to make it, you want to stand out, and if you guys are trying to make something like that, try and make it authentic. And this is only if you have a strong viewer base, like people care about you. And this also can apply for persuasion. And if you know a skill very well, and you do entertainment, you guys can also teach that skill. But yet you have to know it really well. You cannot sort of half-ass a skill. And so make sure you guys know what you're doing before you go ahead and do this. So what you guys have to go and do is, you guys can externally monetize either by using links. You guys can use affiliate programs, for example, if you're making a video on how to invest or whatever, or how to day trade, something like that. You guys can go to a day trading service, get an affiliate link, and we will sign up for it as a part of your tutorial. And also for stuff like the sun example I gave. What happened if the sun went away for 24 hours? If your content surrounds like science or stuff like that, you guys could also go ahead and, for example, this is a very weird example, but if you guys know something about science, you guys could put that on a course too. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a course on how you guys could externally monetize. You guys can also externally monetize by links, affiliates, sponsorships, all that sort of stuff. And especially if you have a product that you can market to your audience. So think about what your audience is. Think about their general demographics and who your audience is. So if it's 20-year-old men, it's going to be different from 80-year-old woman. You have to figure out who your audience is and what they would be interested in. It doesn't have to be a product, it doesn't have to be a service, it just necessarily has to be a means of monetizing of them externally off of YouTube. For example, this is a creative way I did it, and this is actually how I made my first money ever online. I did external monetization through link trafficking. I used to run a gaming mods YouTube channel, and on this YouTube channel I had at my peak about a little bit over 130,000 subscribers. And that was crazy for me because I was either 13 or 14 at the time. I can't remember when I had that, but it was unbelievable. And I got over 100k subs without using shorts, which was crazy. Most people that have over 100k subs, especially like at age 13 and 14, have probably had shorts that went viral. I was fully monetized. I was making legitimate content. I got my first 15k subs before shorts were even a thing. It was unbelievable. I somehow pulled it off, but I never went viral once or twice. It was really just mainly consistency and climbing up a very, very hard fought and a little bit of rational mountain that probably wasn't worth my time, but I'm so happy and accomplished, and I can look back on it and smile that I did it, because that was probably the first ever real success I had online of running a business. It was when my first ever YouTube channel hit 100k subs. That was unbelievable. That would happen when I was 11 and 13. But main point is, on that channel, I externally monetized in 2 ways, mainly. I might have used other means, but these are the 2 that come to mind. So the first thing I used link trafficking, which is basically when they go through a link, I get paid for it. So if they have a mod, if there's a mod or something like that, I link it in the video description using a program called Linkvertise. You guys can find your own ways to monetize content. I'm just giving you a good example. What you guys have to go in and do is, for the Linkvertise link, you simply just want to take the link and you want to click on it in the description. And once you guys want to do that, you have to look at ads, you have to maybe watch a video ad or whatever. And they would have to do these simple steps. It would take them like a minute or 2, whatever, to go. And once I got through it, They simply would have access to the mod or whatever that I was promoting for whatever company wanted me to promote. These weren't official companies. These were like 12-year-olds making terrible mods. But so some of them were alright. But the main point was, all of these mods would come and go. Again, all of these, like, I made Fortnite modding videos on, like, devs and stuff like that. All of these things came and went. But what didn't go was my YouTube channel. Well, actually, funny enough, it didn't go. I can't talk about that too much. If you guys are more interested in that, join the Drucker AMC group. I can't get more in depth than that, but yeah, it's quite an amazing story, especially with the Shadow brand. But I'm not going to talk about that too heavily right now. I'm just talking about external monetization. So I externally monetized through there. I probably made a few $1,000s, maybe like probably around 5K total. I still make a little bit of money from it, not as much as I used to, because it's all passive now, and I don't really make modding videos like that anymore. But at the peak, I was doing incredible amounts of money for it, like an 11 and 12-year-old on YouTube. And this was before I was monetized on YouTube. And it was my first ever money from the internet ever. So it was unbelievable to me. I was so happy. I made money online from YouTube videos at like 11 years old. I never went viral just once. It was hard work. I can reflect on it and say, yeah, I did that. And I had 2 other YouTube channels back when I was around this time that both had over 100K subs, and I can admit those 2 were luck. And they were all monetized. I was very well organized. I was not someone to half-ass things. I was very efficient. I knew my processes. And at the young age, I was able to sort myself out very well. It all exploded into my face at some point, which I can get to in a different video, or I could tell the story separately. But the main point of it was, I figured out how to externally monetize. Another way I figured out how to externally monetize, and this was my first ever big money. This was incredible to me. And this was when I was like 12. This is an unbelievable story. But you guys are getting this early, okay? You guys can thank me. But what I did was, in Fortnite, which is a video game, if you guys somehow don't know, maybe you're watching this 100,000 years in the future. Fortnite's a video game. If it's video games, you're still around 100,000 years in the future. And basically, they have an affiliate program on their shop where you can buy stuff, and if you put in my code, I get a commission of that. And so, essentially, what happened was, I figured out the smartest thing to do. In Fortnite, they have these things called creative maps, and on the creative maps, people figured out how to put vending machines to fake skins, which would normally cost money to buy. And these skins were like extremely cool. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Or they'd have like rare items, but they would put a barrier over them, like in the creative map, because you could sort of build your own map. And they figured out how to make these fake vending machines, put a barrier over them, and people would put a support a creator device next to them, which is basically a thing that you have to click to use their creator code, and say the barrier goes away if you use the code. And even if it didn't, they would go to you'd promote these maps. People would, like these 4-year-olds would go in them thinking, oh, it's probably not going to work, I'll at least try it. Would put in the code, go to the barrier, realize it didn't work, and just leave. But when they did that, they would leave the code in, and it would make so much money. It was fucking ridiculous. And I mean that sincerely. It was insane. When I was like 12, I got this guy on TikTok, and I still know him somewhat to a degree, and I got him to, he made him a map for me, and this was crazy. He made me like $5 grand in a month at 12. Off of a TikTok video of him promoting my Fortnite map, which was just mind-blowing. It was unfathomable. I made $5 grand at 12 years old in 1 month off the supported creator thing, just by this guy posting a TikTok video, which was, it was crazy. I did zero work and got $5 grand online at 12, all to myself. It was unbelievable. It sounds crazy just reflecting on it now. I'm gonna have lots of stories to tell my grandchildren, but that is just one of the ways I externally monetize. And I also promoted the code of my videos, but nothing went as viral as that. And that was probably my greatest success early on. That was probably my greatest success, actually, I would say, even up until I discovered probably the affiliate marketing that I do now. With, if you guys have ever seen my links, like I promote a cash kick link, I have a link to something called Sweatcoin, those sort of things. Those make me lots of money now. But up until then, my biggest payday ever was that supported creator code thing in Fortnite, which was unbelievable back when I used to run my gaming channel. So I externally monetized my shadow brand, which was my gaming channel and all that sort of stuff, and the other 2 channels I ran with it extremely well. And eventually my monetization grid is what had it blow up in my face at some point, which that's a story for another day. But the main point of this entire story was to show you guys that external monetization is so powerful if you guys want to use it and if you guys can figure something out. So you have to get creative, you guys have to look around and think, what would my audience want? And you guys really just have to, and this is the best part, is you guys don't have to monetize to do this. If you have a dedicated loyal base with 500 subs, you guys can pull it off. If you guys have like 500 loyal subscribers, I know it sounds like such an insignificant amount, it can take you unbelievably far. If just like half those people you can get to give you $100 a month, that's like 25 grand a month. And that is just an unbelievable amount you guys can do. I know that's probably not going to happen because none of you guys will be able to get that loyal of a base. But that is the idea of how a loyal base works. When some people with 500,000 subscribers can't make any money off YouTube, with 500 subscribers, you guys can probably pull off even a full-time income if your subscribers are loyal enough, which that is very difficult, but you guys can do it. So do not associate subscribers with money to any extent whatsoever. Subscribers is only just a dick measuring contest. It doesn't matter. Everyone that's short is going to outdo you if you're making long form content, because long form content pays money. Do not worry about subs. I know it's hard. I know so many people, you guys want just the shiny play buttons, but I promise, do not put subs ahead of money on YouTube, especially if you're doing it from a business perspective and automation. If you guys like doing YouTube, then sure, you guys can make content you like, but this is a video, the whole course is basically me teaching you how to make money off YouTube. It's not me teaching you how to make a YouTube as a career, it's teaching you how to make money off YouTube and how you guys can essentially do this even for a living if you guys want to. It doesn't mean it's going to be enjoyable, but the best thing is your content. If you play this game right, you guys may never have to work again after just basically a few years. Like, I bet those people that ran the Oversimplified channel, they've made I think they've made around 30 videos, and they could live very well never ever working again. So honestly, if you guys know what you're doing, you guys can make so much money off YouTube, both internally and externally off of YouTube. Again, internal monetization has RPMs and CPMs, which RPM is determined by your CPM, and CPM is determined by how much an advertiser is willing to pay to get their ad on your video. Again, there's pre-roll, post-roll, mid-roll ads, like I already mentioned. The mid-rolls you guys can place as you like, and I recommend placing them once every 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how long your video is. Obviously, if it's an hour long, you don't want to have a mid-roll every 2 minutes, because that would be extremely painful and they wouldn't even all roll. But as you guys know, your content, depending on the style of your content and what it's about, will contribute to how high your CPM is. Like, again, finance content will have the highest CPM, and the lowest will be stuff like cooking or vlogging or lifestyle, because that's harder there's a harder area to market to. Just like babies, like, how are you gonna market to a baby? You can market to mothers, but if you're watching Cocomelon, how are the advertisers going to get a 2-year-old to buy something? So again, this is really about your market, but don't just make finance content just because of the high CPM, because when was the last time you seen a finance video with 10 million views compared to a vlog with 10 million views or a gaming video with 10 million views? So that's my point, guys. Stick to what you know and go from there. I already taught you how to do a content production process. If you guys want more advanced editing tutorial, I'm going to have that later in the course. And so if you guys really want to learn how to edit, I have the best program that you can possibly get for free. And I also have the best photo editing software, Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, which you guys can get for free legitimately, but you should get it. You should pay, guys. You should 100% not cheat, not get the cracked version. Don't do that. Make sure you guys pay for the right version. And once you guys go ahead and pay for it with your money, you guys can go ahead and use Adobe Photoshop, which is how I make my thumbnails. And again, I'm gonna have courses, like mini courses inside of this big giant course in those sections, and so make sure you guys keep on watching for that. But that was basically how you guys can monetize internally off YouTube and externally. Those are the main ways you guys can. Again, you sort of have to figure it out yourself. I cannot tell you what to do. If you guys want catered results to you, you guys can join the program, but that is what I recommend. So I hope this was semi-helpful, and now let's get to the next segment of the course, because I really do want this to be as valuable as possible, and I really do want you guys to be able to succeed off this, because I want people to be able to make money off YouTube without having people that have never run YouTube channels with long form content, because there's a lot of people that promote YouTube automation courses or make their money selling courses, and all the results come from shorts, and they just change the currency on their dashboard to make it look way more inflated than it actually is. So yeah, I'm providing a valuable course, and so if you guys are waiting for the next segment, I'll start it right now. I'm going to cut myself off here. So thank you guys for watching this segment, and let's get on to the next segment.
Now guys, the next thing I'm going to go over inside of this course is how you guys can go ahead and do a screen recording. And basically, even if you're not going to be recording a game, or you're not going to be recording at all, like your screen at all, you can still record things like my camera right now that I'm doing. I'm doing this through OBS, and OBS is basically the recording program I use. So if I switch it to a desktop screen right here, you guys will see that this is what it does look like right here. I have a full face thing. I have a game recording, even though I don't really play video games anymore, and I have my full face, which shows the entirety of me. And as you guys see, if I switch it to desktop, it will show this stuff too. I set this up and by the way, I'll have OBS linked in the description too. All the links will be in the description, as already mentioned at the start, with like work links. So just go ahead and get this, because it is the best free recording software. It is every YouTuber uses it. Like, I'm not kidding. Every YouTuber uses it. When I say that, I mean it. So make sure you guys get it. But as you see, basically you build scenes in here, which you guys can just make a new one just by adding something and just calling it whatever you want. And after you guys go ahead and do that, you guys can add sources. Like, for example, I have a window capture right here if I need to capture a specific window instead of my entire desktop. I have the face recording, so I can keep my face on while also being on OBS. And I do have this right here in case if I need to like put like text on screen. I have like a subscriber thing just in case if I need to show like something to get people to subscribe. And then this is a display capture, because if I disable that, you guys won't be able to see anything. If I disable my face, you won't be able to see that. And you basically guys can get the idea. And then finally, we also have the audio mixer right here, which does allow you, if you go and look at it, if you see microphone, you see the face thing, which is actually my camera, but the camera has the worse microphone than the microphone I actually have, so I don't really use it. And then again, I have desktop audio, so if I'm listening to something, or for example, I don't do this really, but if I'm reacting to something, you guys will hear the audio on my desktop, and it will get recorded too. And everything's adjustable. I like to keep the background audio a little bit lower than my mic, because that's what's meant to be in focus. And then there's also stuff like this that basically just lets you keep track of everything, and it'll talk about your recording, your stream, if you guys are streaming, and then your FPS, stuff like this. And you guys can control this through the view thing. You guys can make different scenes, and all this stuff does simply work just as it is. And then finally, the final thing in this thing, which is super important, is your recording settings. Now this is probably the most important part in OBS, because if you guys do not have the recording settings right, then your videos are going to look terrible. They're going to be basically unwatchable. So if you guys want to get high quality videos like I do have right now, first of all, a good camera would help, but it is not required. Don't feel like you by any means you need like a professional camera to be able to go ahead and make videos like these, because you really don't, especially when starting out. You do not need cameras like these to make professional videos. But as you see, I have the camera and it does look pretty good. And apart from that, if I actually go ahead and go to my OBS settings, this is where the real quality comes from. So if I go here, the settings, you guys can just copy my settings, but I'm going to go over them. And this is going to depend on what content you're doing, so make sure you guys follow them closely so you guys do have this down just as I do. So what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to make sure your language is on whatever language it is. That's pretty obvious. So just make sure you guys go ahead and enable system tray, and then you guys can click on show pixel alignment guides. These aren't really the necessary settings. These are just things that will help you. They're not anything that important. And then I just keep the theme on the default one because it's the simplest one. Now for stream, you guys want to connect your YouTube account, and all you guys have to go in and do, and I decided this on an old account, so I can just disconnect that, and then I can create an account like that, and it's going to open you to a Google prompt on Google, and it's going to say continue. It's just going to make sure you guys go through all that sort of stuff, and then it's going to say your account is connected, and it'll give you email. Or you guys can use a stream key if you guys really want, but I'm just going to go ahead and authenticate it to my main YouTube channel right now, which is this one, and I click apply, and I can click OK. And as you guys see, this will pop up. It will say the YouTube chat. I'm going to close out of this really quick, just so I can get rid of this, because I don't really want the chat open, because I'm not actually going to live stream right now. And I don't want this either. So yeah, I'll go over that, guys. But once you guys go ahead and get through that, you will have your YouTube linked. And so if you guys do want to go live stream, you could, but there's also settings that you guys have to change before that to make sure everything is smooth, because this is what you're going to be using for basically just about everything. Unless if your videos are purely editing, like you're just taking stock footage and stock videos and just downloading them, and the editing part is what you're looking for, because that will probably be next. Then this is important too, because if you're actually making your own content, then you guys need to have these settings correct. Now for streaming, as you guys can see, I don't have anything enabled. If you guys, because I just copied the recording settings for the streaming, but if you guys are going to stream, these are the settings you want. You want a controlled bitrate of around 18,000. I don't even know what this is. I don't want to say what it is, but around 18,000. And what you guys want is you want the slowest and the best quality tuning. You want that to be high, and then you guys want you guys can do, I don't think multipass mode matters. Do high for profile, and then again, just make sure all of these settings are on what they should be. If you guys are not playing video games or not playing anything that's too rapid, you guys can have this lower if it's harming your PC performance. But if you have a good computer, and I mean by good computer, an RTX card that can handle it. I have an RTX, I'm pretty sure 2060 Super, I'm not sure, 100% sure, but make sure you guys have this bitrate. Start with this, and if it's lagging, if it goes unreasonable, mess with it, and you guys can go ahead and cater it to your computer. And now this is the most important thing, especially if you're doing gaming videos, because this is the most important thing. This is what I did wrong until I had about 5K subs, and after I fixed this, my videos looked about 10 times better. Make sure you guys put, for both your live streams and your recordings that you guys do, make sure you guys put the rescale output on 2560 times 1440, and do the same thing on the recording. And basically, you don't have to record in that. You guys can just go ahead and record it in 1080 if you guys really want to, and if you feel like your computer is going to slow you down. So I don't even do it myself. But if you guys don't go ahead and do that, your quality will look worse when editing, just a little bit. And since we're going to be rendering all of our videos in at least 2K, basically the reason you do that is just because if you guys don't do that, basically it's going to get some really nerdy stuff. But you guys get the wrong codec on your YouTube video when you upload it. If you guys do not upload it in at least 2K quality, then it will not get like a really smooth bitrate, and it'll look sort of pixelated, especially if you guys don't already have an established channel, because it only renders videos in the VP09 codec if it's either 2K in quality or up, or if it is also just from a big creator, because big creators have bigger audiences. And the reason the VP09 codec is so important is because if you ever seen a YouTube video that looks pixelated, that is the reason why, especially with gaming videos. It is the #1 problem. It took me until I had about 5K subs to fix it, and so make sure you guys go ahead and go through and properly fix it. And so I'm going to show you how to fix that in editing, but you guys can make sure, especially when in your streaming settings, because in your streaming settings you're not going to be editing anything, it's just going to go directly to a live stream, that it is on 2560 by 1440. And then make sure your video encoder is the NVIDIA one, or if you're on the AMD thing, make sure it's on the AMD thing. Only use X264 if you guys do not have any other options. And I would recommend using bilinear, and because it's just the fastest. But the recording settings are what you're probably here for. So again, just go down here to the encoder settings. I use 12,000, and then I use the slowest, high quality, and just copy all of these settings. If it's too heavy for your PC, like I already mentioned, you guys can adjust it. And make sure you guys have the output mode on advanced, because that's important too. And if you guys wanted the audio settings, these really don't matter that much, but you guys can go ahead and go through and apply them all. And the reason I can't edit them is because I'm currently in a recording, so I don't even want to edit them anyways. But now for video, you want to make sure your base canvas resolution is 1920 by 1080. Your output scaled is 1920 by 1080. If you guys want to do 2K, if your video quality is really important, if you're like recording super fancy videos with your camera, then you guys can go and do 2K if your computer can handle it. Although I wouldn't recommend doing it if you're going to do gaming videos, if you're just going to do basic recording videos inside of your room like I'm doing right now. And then also an FPS value, which I recommend putting at 60, because it will make your videos look extremely smooth, and it will look as smooth as possible, and it won't be unreasonable by any means. And now also something I recommend doing is setting up hotkeys. And what these basically do is they allow you to start streaming easily, stop the stream, and it also allows you, if you go ahead and you look at the recording settings too, you guys can also start a recording and end a recording simply with these. And I'm just quickly adjusting my camera. But as you guys can see, you can start recording and stop recording extremely easily, because I can just click Control Z and Control X to stop. And same thing with streaming binds. So that's what I do, and I recommend you do something similar. And then advanced settings don't really matter. These are just basic settings that you guys can go ahead and copy. That might be changed based on your computer, but these are just really basic, so you guys can go ahead and just adjust those as you like. And so those are the OBS settings I recommend using. Now, OBS settings matter a lot, because they're honestly really important when you record videos, especially if you're going to be using a camera or you're going to be doing a gaming recording. Because if you're doing a gaming recording, what you would do is you guys, if I go to desktop right here, you guys would go here, you would click on add, you go to game capture, you would click OK, and then you would select any specific window, open up your game, and then you guys would go ahead and select it, and basically it would full screen your game. And the reason it's better to do that than display capture or just the window capture is because if you guys do the game capture, it will make sure it's not lagging, it will not be bugged, it will be smooth, it will be clean. As long as your PC, it can handle the recording. And also in the bottom, you will see like your recording stats, and also on the stats link right here, you guys will see the stats of everything. And you guys can also go to view and docs if you guys need to enable something. Like for example, if I can enable the chat if I want it, and just put it, hopefully not there, but you guys, I can put it anywhere I really want on the OBS link where it will fit. And so I would recommend putting it somewhere where you like it, because this is this doesn't look good, but you guys can go ahead and readjust it like that, and then you guys can go ahead and put it anywhere if it will snap in. If it doesn't snap in, you guys can just keep it out like that, or you guys can try and find a spot like it for like that. But I'm gonna take this off again because I didn't need it. And then there's also YouTube live control panel, but that can be opened on browser too. And so honestly, it's really up to you what you guys are going to do with this. But if you guys are going to be recording at all and doing any original recording, as long as you're not like taking stock footage or anything, which you are, if you are, watch the editing part, because that is probably going to be the most important part of the course, especially for people that are just making automation based content. But apart from that, guys, that is just about everything you guys need to know when it comes to recording. OBS Studios is not the same thing as Streamlabs OBS. Streamlabs OBS is a paid subscription, which honestly is for an OBS version that's just more complicated. So do not get that. Go ahead and just get OBS Studio, which will be in the description linked. And this is where you guys can go ahead and record. You guys can live stream. You guys can just about anything you want. And all of these things are really, really simple to work out. You guys will be able to get the hang of it extremely quickly. And the software is really, really good when it comes to recording footage for your videos, whether it's gaming footage, face footage, if it's just recording audio, if you need anything. And this is probably what you're going to have to use for live streaming too. It's the best thing to use for live streaming. You guys can play media sources. For example, if you're playing music in the background but you don't actually want to hear it, you just want the stream to hear it, then you guys can add the media source of like an MP3 and then just have it loop, or then turn the audio down a little bit. But you guys can go ahead and mess with all this yourself, and there's many different things you guys can go ahead and do with this. I couldn't even scratch the surface if I tried, but I'm gonna go over how you guys can go ahead and set up a scene, which is the final step because I went over everything else. So again, you guys can make your scene transition either cut or fade, because if you put it on fade, it will slowly change like that. So as you guys can see, it will slowly change between the others. I just like doing it cut because it's quick and it's swift. So you guys can decide what you want to do. And I'm going to go over now what every source is, because this one is application audio. If you're just trying to record the audio of one specific application, that's what you guys can want to do. Audio input capture is like a microphone. That's technically what I'm doing right here, but I'm pretty sure it already had my microphone by default, so I don't have to add it. Again, audio output capture, which is like if you're listening to sound from a specific window, that works too. And then browser is if you guys want to go ahead and like if you have a browser like an HTML thing. Basically, I actually used to do this when I live stream video games. I would have a controller thing which shows like when I'm clicking on the controller through the browser link, it makes like a link for, and it like basically shows what buttons are being clicked on the controller at any given time. So that's really cool in the browser thing. There's color source, which adds color. Display capture, it's a display. Game capture, it's a game. Make sure you guys select a specific window and then go ahead and select that's needed to record games in good quality. There's image, and then image slideshow, media sources, scenes, text, video, and then window capture. And then there's also some stuff like right here, but who cares about that? And so that's everything that you guys need to know in OBS. And as you guys can see, I can start recording, stop recording, I can manage the broadcast. And what I like to do is if I'm doing a live stream, I click on manage, and I can go to select existing broadcast, and then click on this stream, and I can just go live. And the reason I like doing that is because it's a lot easier to set up a live stream on here. So if I click on go live, I'm not actually going to go live, but if I go right here, it will just say that it will give me so much more settings. So if I go over here, you guys can see I have details, customization, I can monetize my stream because I'm monetized on YouTube, and I can basically go ahead and do anything I want with this thing. And this is the stream key. Do not show your stream key to anyone, because then they'll be able to stream on your channel. But as you see, make sure you guys have normal latency on if you're going to do live streaming. But I wouldn't recommend starting off with live streaming. Live streaming will not pay well until you are a big channel and you guys can get a big amount of viewers live. And again, as you guys can see, there's settings, and you guys can mess with all of them when it is time for you to stream. And you guys can also do stuff like they might not even know of, such as starting a Q&A, a poll. You guys can pin a message with like a link in it to something. But you guys can do what you want with your own live streams. But that is how you guys can go ahead and use OBS and also use it for live streaming. Because once you guys go ahead and make a broadcast with your title, description, thumbnail, tags, just go ahead and enter all this information in, get it all perfect with like a good thumbnail and everything. Then you guys can go ahead and simply just click on manage broadcast, select existing broadcast, click on that, and as long as it's public, as soon as it starts getting the feed from your OBS, you will be live. And then, for example, if I was just talking to my subscribers, I would go like this, and I would talk, and then when I'm done with the stream, I would end it. And there's an end button right here normally, and that's very, very simple and very, very easy, because you can just click on the red end button, and then the stream will be done. So that is what I recommend for both OBS recording and YouTube streaming. OBS is undoubtedly the best program for that, and 95% of you are probably going to be using this at some point, even if it's not going to be mainly used for your content. So I'm going to show you guys after a quick break how you guys can go ahead and edit your videos now, because the video editing part is going to be the most important part of this entire course, undoubtedly. And so make sure you guys stick around for that, because I'm going to be going over everything super in depth, because it's super important. And I'm going to be going over basically out every editing technique I've learned in the past 4 years, which is a lot. I don't edit super advanced videos. There's lots of people that do crazy videos that are with super advanced editing, even if it's not like rapid, but they're just super high quality and well done. I don't make videos like that. I could if I wanted to, but I do what I do because it is quick, and it also has some decent editing. But I'm going to cut right back to you guys, and I'm going to go over the editing portion of this next, because the editing portion is going to be so absolutely necessary to every person watching this video, no matter what content you're doing, whether you're going to do shorts, long form videos, because long form videos make the most money, And no matter what you're going to be doing, this next part is going to be absolutely crucial. So I'm going to go over the video editing stuff right now because it is extremely important. Now, for this next segment, guys, this is where it's going to get really, really important. Because this next segment, guys, is actually video editing. And video editing is probably one of the most important things that you guys have to have down in order to be good at making content. So, the program I use for editing, which I recommend you get started on too, is called DaVinci Resolve. I will have this linked. And it's completely free. If you guys want to use something like Adobe Premiere Pro, you guys can go ahead and use that. But those are paid, and the thing is, you can get it for free, but I cannot show you how to do this in this video because all of the ways you get it for free are illegitimate. So make sure, guys, if you want one of those editing softwares, that you pay for it. But what you guys want to go ahead and do is, you guys, when you create a DaVinci Resolve project, it will look something like this. It'll say DaVinci Resolve, and then the version. And then when you guys go ahead and go through all these, you'll see a bunch of different frames and different projects I have. Like, for example, I have a bunch of different projects I have open here. Some of them are from back when I did gaming content, and some of these are just from shorts I made, just basic templates I have for videos. And whenever you guys want to create something new, you want to create something, you want to open that up. And before you guys go ahead and import anything into your timeline, what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to go right here to File, Settings, and then you want to make sure before you guys start editing that everything is set properly. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure the resolution is at probably 1920 by 1080, and then you want to make sure pixel aspect ratio is square, timeline is 60, playback speed 60. Make sure everything is all good, and make sure everything, especially this being 60, that's the most important one. And then click on save once you guys have done all of that. Now, what you guys can go ahead and do is you guys can go ahead and go to your OBS, and this doesn't have to be in your OBS. If you have other footage somewhere else, you guys can go ahead and do that. But what you guys want to go ahead and do is you want to click on show recordings right here. And as you guys see, I have a bunch, I might have to blur this out, but I have a bunch of videos right here, like parts of the video. And if I want to put something in, I would just drag it into the editing software. And when I go ahead and drag it in, it will import into DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, I don't know why it's crashing, probably because I'm trying to record this at the same time, and these softwares are both kind of heavy. But what you guys want to go ahead and do is you want to put all of your clips in, and once you guys go ahead and put one in like this, it will show up right here. Now what you guys can go to do is you guys can just go ahead and drag it in. And when you guys go ahead and drag this in, it's going to show up on your timeline. So if it's lagging for me, it shouldn't lag for you because, again, I'm recording this at the same time. And these are both very heavy softwares. But as you guys see, it is in right now. And you guys can go ahead and see that the footage is in. And as you guys see, there it is properly placed. Now, there's many different things you guys can go in and do to edit it, but the first thing you have to do is you guys want to go through the footage and you want to cut it. You guys can skim through it if you need to, but anytime you guys want something to cut, all you guys have to go in and do, let's say if I want to do a cut from here to here because I misspoke or I just stopped talking, I can do a cut right there, delete this part in the middle, and then I can drag this right there. And then as you see, I will have successfully done the cut, and that part will be gone. So that is how you guys can cut footage. And make sure you guys cut any unnecessary footage in your YouTube videos, because cutting footage is important to retain viewer watch time. Like I already mentioned this before, when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, viewer watch time is one of the most important aspects in order to grow a YouTube channel. And so you need your content and you need your videos to be able to be viewed, not just for the first 30 seconds, not just for them to click, but for them to watch the video in full. Because if they do not watch the video in full and are not like constantly entertained, if they just skip to the end, that's completely pointless. They need to be watching the entire video and be super engaged. And now this can cause some people to over edit, although I wouldn't recommend over editing. I recommend just making your video more authentic, because if it's not authentic, then you're just not going to go anywhere. But again, once you guys have your video in, what you guys can go ahead and do is, if you have pop-ups or something like that, or you want to put another video on top of it, you guys can just go ahead and, let's just say I have another video in here too that I want to put on top of it. I can zoom it, and then I can also crop it. Let's just say I want to show something on this side of the right side of the video. And let's pretend this is a separate video, just that I'm playing on this side just to show you guys like some tutorial. I would just drag it like this, and then I could simply go right here. I could right click on in the cut section, and you can mute footage too. And so as you can see, you only hear it once. But if this was something else, it would look a lot better, but I didn't really plan for this segment. So as you guys see, that's how you guys can go ahead and overlap footage. You guys can do the same thing with images too. You just put an image in here and it will automatically probably be set for like 5 seconds. You guys can adjust the time it's shown for too. And whenever you guys want to go ahead and put something up, or just simply drag it on, simply zoom out and then go to position. You guys can crop it as you like, and then after you're done cropping it, you guys can go ahead and simply put it into place by zooming it, moving it, and then you guys can go ahead and mute the footage on top of that if you would like, or if it's something that you don't want, if you don't want to get two audio things mixed up. Like as you see, they'll both play at the same time. You guys can do the same thing with images, and so that's how you make pop-ups in your video, and how you guys can put stuff like arrows, like stuff like circles, all that sort of stuff that you see in like a Mr. Beast video pop up, like text, all that sort of stuff. You guys can go ahead and do all that sort of stuff. For text, as you guys can see in your toolbox, you guys can just drag a title in, and then you guys can just go ahead and title it something like I'm just gonna do that. And then after you guys go ahead and get it how you like, you guys can change the font on it. And so you guys can also download your own fonts if you guys would like, or you can just use one of their fonts. You guys can do whatever you want, like I already mentioned, but for example, I think I have the Mr. Beast font somewhere. Yeah, there you go. And now if I just go and if I put it on green, as you guys can see, it stands out a little bit more. If you guys want to get your text to look even better than this, what you guys can want to do is you guys can go to this text plus thing, and then go ahead and do that, and then you guys can go ahead and put on text. Such as YouTube course, and then if I switch it to the Mr. Beast font again, I'm going to show you what you can do. If I go to green as the main color, I can go to shading, click on 2, click on enable, and then I can go to the color, click on black, and then finally I can go down to the softness, I believe, and I can crank this up to 0.9, and then I can crank these up equally to 18 and 18. And now as you guys see, it has a nice backdrop. I can adjust where it is located in the video. So if I go right here, it'll be located there. And if I want to move it, I can. If I want to increase the time it's showing or decrease the time it's showing, I can do whatever I want with that. And then as you guys see, we do have this text now. If you guys want to make it fade or want to add a transition, click on Control T when you're on it, and it will give it a transition. So if you guys do not like the periods of the transition, you guys can go ahead and adjust it with this and with this. So this will be the fade out, this will be the fade in, and you guys can go ahead and change like the dissolve style. And you guys can also do this with the actual footage too, and images and all that sort of stuff when you import them. And all you guys have to go and do is you guys can just change it to whatever you like. So if like for example a push, and then for example it'll fade out. You guys can do that however you like, and you guys can also control the settings for the transitions too. There's also something called effects, which are worth discussing. And effects are basically, especially the open effects, work really well if you guys are just trying to add some basic editing bonuses to your footage. So for example, if you want to do a segment that just makes it look like a glitch, you guys can input the digital glitch, and this will probably, like, it's gonna blow up my computer, but as you see, it will sort of give you that like footage setting, and when you render it, it won't be laggy like that. Since we're just previewing it right now, it's gonna look like that though. And then also there's other filters too. When you're on the open filter section, as you guys can go ahead and see, there's directional blur, there's tons of blurs that you guys can see, and you guys just basically want to do all of the ones that don't have a watermark on them. You guys can test them out, but as you see, like for example, lens flare has a watermark, so you guys can go ahead and use any of the ones that don't have a watermark. For example, like light rays, you guys can put it on a smaller clip. If you just want it to end at a certain duration, you can cut it, make the clip smaller, put the light rays on this clip, and then you guys can go ahead and go to effects. There's like at each video, there's in each photo and each text link, there's different settings that you guys can adjust here: video, audio, effects. I can just go to effects and go to source threshold and turn it up and down, as you guys see. And so as you can see, this does work extremely well. I can make it super bright, or I can make it super non-bright and just make it like that, which you guys can test it, but I don't, why am I playing it backwards? But that's how it does work. And so those are the options you guys do have when it comes to effects. There's also filters here, there's audio effects, but these are more complicated and you're not going to be using these as much. Now, if you guys ever have to do a voice recording for something, for example, if you're talking over a video, what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to go to Voice Recorder, the app, on your computer, and then basically what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to click on the microphone button where you speak. You guys can go ahead and speak, and then you guys want to click on the three dots and then click on open in folder. When you guys go ahead and do that, it's going to open up all of your audio recordings, and from there you guys can simply drag them onto your timeline and put them where you like them. You guys can cut them, crop them however you like, and you can make them louder or quieter. Same thing with normal videos by dragging this thing up or down, however many decibels you like. And so if your footage just sounds quiet or it needs to be louder, and I recommend making your mic volume overwhelmingly loud compared to your music, that's what I recommend. And now for the final thing in the main editing thing, and I'll go more in depth in editing at another time, but I'm just trying to give you the finite basics that everyone's going to use. But for music, you guys can go ahead and download any non-copyright music, and I'm going to give you the best library to go ahead and get non-copyright music. But what I recommend doing is go to ncs.io if you guys are just looking for any music. If you need music that fits a certain theme, then there's other places you guys can go. But if you're just looking for music to start out, you guys can go to the music library, and then you guys can just go to their non-copyright section. And I just recommend using some of their instrumental music, and you guys just have to go ahead and put something in your description, and with that they'll let you monetize the videos. If you guys get more advanced, you guys can always sign up for programs that I've used before in the past, such as Epidemic Sounds. And if you see any professional YouTuber like MrBeast or something like that, they all use this thing that basically gives them songs for completely free. All of the popular YouTube songs you can imagine, most of them at least, are on Epidemic Sounds, and it's like a $15 a month subscription to use those songs without getting copyrighted or having your ad revenue taken. So this is another thing that you guys can go and do, although I don't recommend using this until you already have an audience and can easily afford the $15 a month to be able to monetize your videos with better music. So that's what I recommend, guys, and I'm going to go over the next few steps and how you guys can go ahead and actually import the music in 1 second. Now, when it comes to importing the music, what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to make a folder for music. Like, for example, I have a folder just titled Video Assets, where I have everything, and I mean everything, including stuff for like TikTok, Shorts. These are just like Photoshop templates, as you guys can see. I have promotions, music, more assets, like memes back when I used to edit like really funny Fortnite videos. That's what I used. Images and Photoshop assets, just images plain out. And then Fortnite thumbnail template pack, even though I don't play Fortnite anymore. So I have all this stuff just in case if I need it. And essentially, most of the stuff will be used in Photoshop, but some of the stuff can be used in video editing too, such as the images and the Photoshop assets. Like, for example, there's still arrows, there's still this thing which I could put in, and you guys can go and get sound effects too. If there's anything you ever do want to get off YouTube, you guys can simply look up the sound effect. When you guys go ahead and try and download something, make sure you guys go and use the program called 4K Video Downloader, which will also, again, be linked in resources. And this program will essentially allow you to just download any YouTube video, and it is legit, unlike these other websites, because the websites, the problem with those is YouTube does not allow them, but this they do allow, as long as you give credit where it is due, because lots of this stuff is on the public domain, so you're completely fine using like the sound effects that come with these. And as you guys can see, that's what it does look like. I have some stuff saved in the download, so I'm not gonna show you guys that because some of that I use privately, but again, that's what you guys need to be aware of when it comes to compiling stuff for video editing. Now, the next thing I wanted to mention is, as you guys can go ahead and see, we do, if we put in music, like I'm just going to go ahead and import some basic music. And so if I go music and I import like a song that I that I normally use, this is a no copyright song, I like to right click on normalize audio levels, turn it to like -9, and click on normalize, and then take it down a little bit more. And so I can listen to it and test to see what it sounds like compared to the microphone volume. And you always want the microphone to be slightly over the everything else, because the music and the background audio are not the focus. Your voice is, and you want to make sure your voice is as defined as possible. I'm going to do a segment where I go over my equipment that I have in my setup too, and basically all of the equipment I have is really helpful. But again, you don't need any of this to start. You really just need one microphone, which your phone can do if that's all you have, and you just need one microphone, one video camera, and you just need to develop skills like editing, like I just went over. These are very basic things, guys, so don't expect this to be the only thing. I probably watched a gazillion DaVinci Resolve tutorials because I've always edited my own videos. Literally since ever I've edited all my videos, and 99% of the thumbnails I've made were done by myself. I had like 5 thumbnails made for me ever, and that was only because they involved like custom renders in like Blender, which is super complicated stuff. But yeah, I don't do 3D renders anymore. And as you guys see, this is how you guys can go ahead and make your video. And you guys you have to go through, import everything that you guys do want, make sure it's all in set. And if there's something that you guys are confused about how to do, or confused about how to work, or you want to combine clips or something like that, and you guys do not see an option or something, whatever the problem might be, what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys can watch a YouTube tutorial on it, because YouTube is going to be your best friend when it comes to editing these videos. Because I cannot go over everything in DaVinci Resolve inside of this video, because there is so much. I'm just trying to give you the absolute basics that you guys do go ahead and need, because there's also index, there's a sound library too. There's so much stuff in here that you guys can take advantage of, and so make sure you guys check everything out in full in DaVinci Resolve, because I think it is the best software possible. There's like a mixer, there's all this sort of stuff, so you guys can go ahead and do with it as you like. But this is what I recommend, guys. And if you need to increase volume tracks, like for audio 1 track, audio 2, and whenever you add a new track, make sure you guys do it on stereo. I forgot to mention that, but make sure you guys do it on stereo, because when you add an audio track for something like, for example, music, your voice, sound effects, something, whatever it is, make sure you guys go ahead and add it. And you want to make sure you level it to make sure it fits with everything else, and also level the individual clips to make sure it all goes smoothly together, and you can preview your video too. And along with this, you want to make sure you're editing your video for retention, to make it interesting, to make it intriguing, to make sure the viewers always, you're alluding to what's next without giving them too much. But you guys basically want to retain your viewer as well as possible, no matter what your content is, because you have to keep them watching no matter what. Like, for example, I'm talking right now, and I'm going to probably put some basic cuts in this very long course. But you guys do just have to go ahead and follow those very basic instructions, and be able to make sure that everything is in order the way you like it, and to make sure that the video will be watchable. If you can't watch back your own videos, that's probably the number one problem. Because I used to not be able to watch back my own Fortnite videos. Like, I literally couldn't do it. They were so boring, because they were just tutorials on how to do mods, and everyone felt the same repetition, and it was basically the same thing going over. I was going over the same process. They were so boring, and they were like 15 minutes. I couldn't stand watching my own videos. I would just render them and just put them in a basic editing template. I disregarded all that sort of stuff, and that's one of the reasons it took 3 years for me to reach 100K subscribers on a long form channel. If I tried to do it now, I could probably get it done in like 6 months, 3 months at minimum, because I just have so much better understanding for what it is now. Of course, I want to do that because I don't have permanent plans to make like long form content on gaming or Fortnite, but I know so much more now. But if I just had a better view retention, and if I focus on retaining them more, and instead of trying to drag the video out stupidly long, then I probably would have gotten a lot bigger, and I probably could have made my content have a bigger reach too. Because if you guys don't know, you guys can get all of the views from search. For example, like I went back when I made Fortnite dev tutorials, basically Fortnite dev, for those of you guys that don't know, basically in the video game Fortnite, I had a developer portal which gave access to just about every cosmetic item in the game for free. And what I did is I made videos on it, and if I just made the video, instead of being super long and being a super boring tutorial, I made it short, concise, and easy to understand for people that are new to this stuff, then it would have also not just gotten me search views, but it would have gotten people's recommendations to people that don't have no clue what a developer portal was. And with that, they would be introduced to my channel, and would also be able to get this really cool thing and see that this is really cool, and then also follow my channel too. And so That all of these things you guys have to keep in mind when editing your content, because these are extremely important and critical things. And again, you guys want to make sure everything is done properly, because if it's not, then your video will turn out bad. And again, your first videos are just going to be bad, and it's just about gradually making them better. So play around in the editing software, figure out what you guys like. But again, you guys can go ahead and go through all of these sort of things and just figure it out all for yourself. There's coloring, for example. If you guys wanted to change up the color or something, you guys can go ahead and do that. You can mess with the saturation, the highlights, shadows, color boost, and so you guys can do with what you like with this. But I tend to keep these things at the default mostly, because I don't think there's much point messing around with this. But if you want something to be black and white, you guys can just turn all of these, not these ones. You guys can just go ahead and you can turn, you guys can mess with these switches first of all, if you guys want to see if you want to see what they look like. But I didn't mean to do that. If you want to see what they look like, you guys can mess with them. But if you don't, you guys just should leave them as normal. But if you want to switch something to black and white, turn the saturation to absolute minimum, because then it's just going to look completely black and white, like I already mentioned. And apart from that, when you guys have your video done, and you've audio tested it, which I recommend doing in this section right here. Once you guys have gone ahead and done all of that, you guys want to click on this button right here. This will be your render button, and this is the final step whenever you guys have finished a production. So I'm going to show you guys what this does look like. And after you guys have gone ahead and messed with all of these things, the coloring of your video looks good, the audio checks out, and the rendering is all fine. What you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to go to a custom export, and you guys want to make sure your timeline is all set up. Like for example, if I have this and then this, let's just put something in just for example, I would go here, and then what you guys want to title it is you guys want to title it, you can do this either two ways. You guys can make a folder and then put it in the folder, or you guys can want to do is you guys can just title it something like new video. And when you guys go ahead and do that, you can simply just make sure it's on MP4, by the way. Once you guys go ahead and do that, you guys can select the location, like I just do videos, and click on yes, and then I'll have the video ready to render, and just zoom it out just to make sure you have everything. Click on the entire timeline, because you want to render the entire video, obviously. And if it doesn't show the entire timeline, switch it from in and out and then to entire. And then after you guys go ahead and do that, make sure all of this is on what it should be. So MP4, H.264, auto. Resolution, you guys, this is important. This is super important. Switch this to 2560 by 1440. This is so needed, because if you guys do not do this, especially for those of you guys who make gaming videos, if you're making gaming videos, you have to do this. And if you don't do this, you're missing out massively, because I didn't realize this until I was already a year into the grind. And so make sure you guys figure this out instantly. And this switch it to 2560 by 1440 when you render the videos. It doesn't matter if you didn't record your footage in 2K, but this is necessary for the video to be processed with the VP09 codec, like I already mentioned. And with that codec, it will make your footage look way less pixelated. I would just recommend doing this for no matter what your content is, until you have a significant audience, or until you really just want to mess with this. But I recommend keeping it at 2K, even if you aren't going to watch your videos in 2K. It just makes it look smoother and less pixelated when it gets rendered with a different codec. So frame rate you want to keep at 60, quality put it at best, encoder profile switch that to high. And then there's also advanced settings too, or subtitle settings along with all that. But you guys can click on add to render queue, and then click on add, and then click on render all when it's time to render. And when it renders, your computer is going to pretend it's a steam engine. It's going to go super loud, and it's going to render it. It'll give you an estimated time of how long it's going to take. But after the rendering is done, the video file will be done, and you guys can go to your YouTube, and you guys can simply go to create, upload video, and then drag your video in here. And when you guys go ahead and drag your video in, it will start the upload process, and it will take some time to upload. When in the meantime, you guys can do your title, your thumbnail, your description, your tags, all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to be going over the best strategy for all that sort of stuff and the equipment shortly. But there's one more software we have to go over that's super important, which is Photoshop, because Photoshop for making thumbnails is so important. And there's many different ways you guys can get Adobe Photoshop. You can pay for it, or you can get it the more illegitimate way. I wouldn't recommend doing that, guys. Do not get it the free way, and I cannot even say how you guys can do that, but I'm pretty sure you can infer it. But I'm going to go over how you guys can go and use Adobe Photoshop, and that'll be the final software I'm going to go over inside of this course, because I don't want to I just don't want to stretch this out with too much stuff, because I just want to keep this relatively basic and stuff that everyone's going to use. So I'm going to show you how you guys can go ahead and make thumbnails, and then I'll go right back to the other stuff. Now, when you guys get inside of Adobe Photoshop, which if you guys do not know how to get it, join the Discord. Like I already mentioned, it's $1 and we'll get it for you. But if you guys do not know how to get it, there's many different ways you guys can get it for free. But if you guys want to pay for it, that's fine too. And as you guys see, once you're inside of here, what you guys want to go ahead and do is you guys want to make a 1280 by 720 image right here. So you guys want to open that up. Make sure that that's blurred. And once you guys go ahead and open this up, it will show a document that looks like this. You'll already have a background. And now what you guys can go and do is you guys can go ahead and import any things you guys want on this. Like for example, something I like to do is even though I don't do Fortnite stuff anymore, is I still do this, is I like to go to the PSD packs I have, which are just Photoshop things. And I like to go ahead and still put them on, which they still have like basic stuff. But if I need a background, for example, I already have templates. And what I mean by that, I'll open one for you guys really quick. If I have a template for it, I just can instantly, I don't have to screw around with it for that long. So here I'm gonna open a template for you guys to show you an example. But this should work right here. Right here, as you guys see, I have, this is a very basic thumbnail. It has almost no elements. What I did is, in Adobe Photoshop, I made the background yellow, and to do that, I simply opened it up, I selected it, and then I went to, these are all different tools that you guys can go ahead and play with, but I went to the paintbrush tool. Which one is the paintbrush tool? I still have to look at all of these and figure it out myself. Like, I am no Photoshop expert by any means. And then I went to here, I made it big, and then switched the color to yellow or whatever. It's just something that looks similar. And then I clicked on it, and then what it does is it changes the color. So if I go to black, it will change the color to black, and if I click it enough on it in every corner, there you go, it's completely black now. And as you guys see, I can then go ahead and mess with this stuff. Like for example, I could put a screenshot of a Temu thing, a Cash App thing, or whatever, and then me, and then I also have a line which highlights the amount, and then an arrow just to contrast everything. And as you see, the text is big, which is a very important thing. If you're going to add text in your thumbnail, you want to keep it very minimal, and it needs to be recognizable, and it needs to be big. So as you see, this is still big, and if I zoom this out a lot, you guys will still be able to see it. So for example, the rule of thumb is about zoom it out 5 times, and if you cannot read the text, then it is bad. So fit it on screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you guys should be able to read it realistically for another 3 times. If it is the primary text. Like for example, if this is if the main focus of the text is the $5,000, I should be able to see that very, very far out. So for example, even if it's smaller than a YouTube thumbnail, like this big, I can still see it's like $5,000. It's a big dollar amount. And as you see, I have it highlighted, a line in green. And if you guys don't know how I did this, I downloaded a line image off of Google. And after I did that, I simply dragged it in here, and I played with it and just simply made it very thick and made it very short. And after you guys go ahead and distort the line however you want, you guys can go ahead and right click on it and apply a blending option. For example, go to color overlay, and you guys can put a color overlay on it like I just did with my face. And then I also on the line put a background glow too. Photoshop is just something that takes a long time to go ahead and learn, and you guys, you just have to play with it. It took me about 4 years to learn Photoshop, and even now knowing it, I basically know nothing. And so it's really hard for even me to make good thumbnails, and I still struggle with it. I still have to figure everything out. I still have to learn all these tools and figure out what colors go together, because if you have a bunch of different colors and they're all like sort of small, you want to make sure your thumbnail can be seen from a far distance away and you guys can get the point of the video. If it's small and you can't get the point of a video, then it's bad. But if it connects with the eye, that's why I like using the colors red and green a lot, is because these are extremely drawing in to the eye because they contrast each other a lot. and they're also very vibrant and bright, especially on black, which makes them look extremely shiny, which is the reason my videos have a really good click-through rate. They don't have the best retention, the ones I posted on this channel so far, but they have a good click-through rate because the thumbnails are extremely strong. And the thing is, most of these videos with the the click rates they have are actually really good. And like, just to show you guys an example, my Cash App video right here has a click-through rate of 14%, which the average is like 6%. I'm not kidding. So as you see, I'm like doing that times 3, and I have over 100,000 impressions on this video because the click-through rate's good. The view duration is actually probably not that good. As you can see, it completely goes away after about here. And after then, it's just all downhill from there. It goes down to 4%. That's not what you guys want to see. You want to see it going from maybe a little bit down to start, but then it should be straight out just till the end, and it should be maybe slowly declining, but it should still be like around 30% at the end, and it should still be like over 70%. So that's why I have to have a hooking intro, because most people will click off like right here at the 5-second mark if you're not already getting to it. If you're just ranting in an intro, then they'll most likely click off, especially if they're just clicking on this video to get a bit of dopamine. Like if you're watching this video right here, you're probably willing to watch it for a little bit longer because you're getting information. But if you're watching the video for entertainment and you start with this and it's just some person talking to you, if you're watching that for entertainment, you're not going to be entertained for that long. So like I already mentioned, make sure your retention's good and your click-through rate's good. Those are the two main things when it comes to YouTube promoting your video. And again, you guys can go ahead and just download images that you guys want to use. Arrows, I'll leave a link in the description where you guys can go ahead and get a bunch of Photoshop assets. And again, they'll all be in the resources, and so you guys can go ahead and mess with it. But again, probably one I like to use is I have this. I have the phone. This one is, I like to use this one a lot. Which for this one, how I did this one is I took a picture of me in the camera, and now obviously if I delete all this stuff, I took a picture of this on like to my camera, and I went to image adjustments and in vibrance, and I like made the super vibrant. I mean, it's super saturated, not like that, but this is still a lot crazier than it looked originally. And then I also made it a little bit brighter just so it popped out more. And then after I made all of those edits, I simply went to I found a screenshot of a high cash balance. And then I also found text. I made that text through a font I downloaded. And then I put the Cash App balance, I put the main thing over to make it look like it's real. And then I have this other thing just in case if I flip the image around and do it on the other side. But I have the red arrow pointing, I have shining green, so it sort of looks realistic on the phone. Because it looks more realistic especially when it's zoomed out. As you guys can see, if I zoom it out 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty real. And as you can see, it shows a big number. It's just easy. It shows the Cash App thing, and it's very vibrant in color. When I mean vibrant in color, you don't want it to look sickening. You want it to look simple, and you guys want it to look bold. As you guys can see, you can get the message of this video. It has the main focus of this video is a giant phone with the Cash App high balance on it. It's just easy, so you can probably infer this is like a money-making tutorial. At least you guys can infer that. So so you can get the general idea of the video, and it's meant to work with the title. The thumbnail and the title have to work together to tell your viewer what the video is, and they have to both be good in their own respect. They have to be both intriguing. And again, if the thumbnail looked messy, if the phone was smaller, and if it just looked like kind of lazy and choppy, it didn't look as clean as this, and it didn't have text as bold, standing out. Like that's why on almost all of the text I do, especially if it's a bright color, I add a drop background on to make it stand out against black, because black will make any bright color stand out, like yellow, red, and green. And so that's why it looks so good and it looks so clean. So that's what I recommend going ahead and doing. If you're new to Photoshop, just like I mentioned, just find images off of Google that are good enough, and go ahead and use them for your thumbnails. Like I already mentioned, put them in Photoshop, and then try first adjusting with the colors, the vibrance, and cropping it a little bit to get out the unnecessary parts. And then you guys can go ahead and add layers on, like text, like arrows, stuff like that. but I would keep the text to a minimum, keep the arrows to a minimum. You guys just want it to add to it. You don't want to overwhelm the thumbnail. If I had 3 different arrows all pointing around to the phone, it would be stupid. I have a big giant red arrow to contrast all this green. And essentially, it makes it look super vibrant and super colorful. Not messy, not disgusting, but enough for someone to click on it. So that's what I recommend when it comes to making thumbnails. You can apply this to your own style. Like I already mentioned, if you guys want to get into specifics, you guys can join the Discord for just $1, and I'll help you with it directly. And as you can see, there's tons of different stuff around here. You guys can see that the thumbnail is super in detail. It's not low quality. You guys can zoom it in a lot. But this is what you guys should go ahead and do to make your thumbnails and go ahead and produce them well. When it is time to, you think everything's in place, first of all, compare it to your last thumbnail. It should look better than that. And once it looks better than your last thumbnail, go to File, save it as, save on computer, switch it to PNG, make a folder on your computer where you keep all your thumbnails, paste in the title of the video as the thumbnail name, that's the file name, save it, wait, it's gonna ask you to pick like a quality to save it and click on the best. And then once it's saved, you guys will upload it when you're uploading your video, and make sure your title goes well with it. And if you cannot tell, this is the most important thing, if you guys cannot zoom out 5 times and tell what the video is about just from the thumbnail, then it is not good. So make sure you guys zoom it out 5 times and make sure you can tell the video is generally about just from the thumbnail. And then you guys want to make sure your title is short as it can be, but still delivers the message in the most intriguing way possible. Like, for example, a free Cash App glitch, even though it is just a Cash App referral program. If I said how to use the Cash App referral program to get Cash App balance, if I made it sound like that, it sounds super boring. But I said free Cash App glitch working in 2024. That is a lot more intriguing. It might be a little bit more clickbait. It works well with the thumbnail. It's shorter, and it goes better together. So again, you guys just have to get those elements down. This is something that you build up over time with everything that you guys do when it comes to making videos. But yeah, this is what I would recommend you guys do. And again, play with all the tools, just figure out how to make stuff. And again, you guys can learn AI with this sort of stuff too. But now I'm gonna go over a few different things before we go ahead and wrap up this course. There's 3 more things I'm gonna go over, which are how to, first of all, how to make your video, how to grow your channel, because that's pretty important. The second thing I'm gonna go over is how to grow your revenue. And the third thing I'm gonna go over is the equipment that you guys can go and use. Like, for example, I have a good microphone, I have a good camera, but you guys don't need any of this stuff. And then finally, the final thing I'm gonna go over in this entire thing is how you guys can go ahead and use AI to go ahead and make your content better. And this is something that that's gonna be pretty minimal, because I don't want to get too into that, because not everyone's gonna use AI for their content, and especially not for now, because it's not that well developed yet. But in a few years time, AI is going to be giant, and it's probably going to be making more content than people are. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. And we're going to move on to the next segment of the course now. Guys, as you see, I'm using my phone right now because you guys do not need any fancy stuff to make videos, but I'm going to show you guys what I use to go ahead and make my videos. And all this equipment is not needed to start, but this is what I use after going at it for 4 years. So I have a computer, obviously, my main PC, and then I have 3 monitors. I mainly have this one for Discord, because that's where I just get all my stuff done, also for like WhatsApp, Telegram. I have this one for my primary focus, and this one for either OBS or like Spotify. And then, as you guys see, I have the HyperX Quadcast, which is super nice because it mutes. That's on, that's off. It's super easy to use. I can move it with the boom arm. And then I have this thing right here, which is my keyboard, obviously. I have my mouse, and all this stuff, all this equipment is not needed. What I would recommend you guys do, and sorry if I'm stuttering a lot, it's super weird time in the morning right now. I would recommend is getting the microphone when you guys can. It's like $125. It's called the HyperX Quadcast, because the microphone is the most important thing. As long as your videos are watchable, make sure the first thing you should do is get a microphone. That's the first thing you should buy, but you don't need to buy anything instantly. Just when you can, get the microphone. That is the most essential thing, because a good audio quality is what you need the most. And then I have a laptop to do stuff while I'm traveling. Obviously, I have the diamond play button, which
this thing might look cool, but trust me, with the amount of labor I had to put in to get this, considering it is super heavy, it's like almost 20 pounds, and then all the other awards you got. But considering, guys, I had to work for like 4 years to do this. I know it might look like a simple thing. It is not. This was extremely difficult to get, both in getting a channel to 10 mil subs and actually getting it, because the MCN and all that sort of stuff was in India, and it was super painful. But after working through probably the most complex business deal I've ever done in my life, I was able to get it, and this was like a year in the works from when we actually accomplished it. But as you see, it is finally here. It looks so beautiful, and this is the crown jewel of my labor. So yeah, again, this is comparing content creation to actually working is not that difficult, but again, it does take a while to build up to the point where you guys can get stuff like this, because most people that get stuff like this don't get it instantly, especially if they're not doing shorts. Before shorts, if you had one of these, you were like going at this for like a decade at least, and so it is completely complicated. It takes a long time, takes a lot of effort, and you guys have to be willing to put your head down for the stuff, because again, it's easy to get like the silver play buttons and that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff comes quick. You guys can maybe even get a million play button like a year if you guys do shorts, but stuff like this, you'll never see another 15-year-old with a diamond play button, at least with long form content within this decade. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Microphone is essential. Video camera, I use an EOS Cameron Mark II, and again, I just have the camera right there. I have a cam link which connects to the back of my computer, and then as you can see, I have on the OBS, like I showed, I had the source. Again, a ring light just to make sure my light's bright. I have room lights too, and then I also have headphones. Obviously, those backlights also illuminate this a lot. And I've just added the lights for my room. I have some LED lights and my ceiling lights, obviously. But that's what I recommend using, guys. You don't need any of this stuff to start out. The first thing you should get is a better microphone. Second thing you should get is better camera. And the first thing you should do before any of that is first get making content. Make sure you guys can afford this stuff, getting your content, making money. And probably the most important thing is just making sure your videos are watchable, because if they're not able to be watched, if they're super laggy or the editing is just super slow, then it's not going to go anywhere anyways. So you at least need to get your skills up before you get your equipment up. So yeah, and without further ado, guys, I'll get right back to the rest of the course, because we still have some more segments to do.
Now guys, I'm going to go over the next segment, which is how to get subscribers. And now subscribers do not matter as much as money on YouTube. Trust me, if you're watching this course, your goal is to make money, not get subscribers, because there are people with millions and millions of subscribers who aren't that wealthy at all. And there's people with even 10 million subscribers, but they're living in India and they do shorts and they're making a little bit of income at best. Like, it is unbelievable, but subscribers do not equal revenue. So I'm going to be going over how you guys can increase your revenue. And I'm also going to be going over a few easy ways you guys can go ahead and externally monetize your content. Now, there's many different ways you guys can go and externally monetize your content, but first, the internal monetization, because that's more important. On YouTube, when you monetize your content, it obviously will be making money, although there's a few factors that influence that. I've already went over that. But to actually go ahead and gain subscribers, you need to retain monetizable loyalty if you guys want to get subscribers too. And what I mean by that is, if you guys want people to subscribe, you need to make content that brings them back. If you're doing shorts, this is super easy. You guys can basically get subscribers super duper easy. That's why you can see short YouTubers get 100K subs in like a month and get 1 million subs in like half a year, because it's super duper easy to go ahead and do shorts and get subscribers. But if you guys want to make long form content that gets you money, retaining monetizable loyalty is not just as simple as that. It is a little bit more complicated, and you guys have to make content that will keep the viewer interested. Because if back when I was making like Fortnite videos, if I made a video and someone subscribed to it on like long form, it feels like a tutorial, and they subscribed, my subscribers were just about worthless, because they were most likely subscribing through an unlock link, which means that they're just subscribing to actually get a mod or whatever, and they're not actually going to watch my channel. They're not going to be interested in the content. They're just trying to get through it. And so that's why my subscribers were mostly meaningless when I made my Fortnite videos. Of course, I still helped a little bit, But even my videos, even when I had 100K subs, my long form videos would average anywhere between 1 to 10K views. If a video got over 10K views, that was a good performing video for me. And so that's why I recommend this seriously. Even that I have over 100K long form subs without shorts. I had about 130K subs, about 30K were short, about 100K were long form. I recommend every single person that they go ahead and make sure that their long form content brings the viewer back. It has to be interesting, and the content has to be willing to go ahead, and you have to give them a reason to subscribe, because if it's just a one-off video that they're going to watch, you're not going to want to subscribe. But you have to add either a style or a personality aspect or something that retains them, and that will be through in every single one of your videos, such as a mind-blowing aspect to it, like you make crazy videos on the craziest things that happen or whatever around the world, whatever it might be. But you have to make sure you're retaining them, because subscribers is all about retaining. And the thing is, your subscribers are meaningless if they're not going to be retained, or if they're not retained viewers. So make sure you guys go ahead and make your content easy to watch for those types of people, because if it's not watchable, then they're not going to be retained on any content whatsoever. And if they cannot be retained, your subscribers, like I already mentioned, are garbage. So that's why I recommend for subscribers. Subscribers are not that important. They're not as important as people make it out to be. People treat subscribers as if they're the #1 symbol of YouTube success, which they're not. There's people with millions of subscribers who are less successful than probably some of you guys watching this. And so do not take subscribers as a mark of success. Subscribers is literally just all a game for fancy awards like I have in the background. And apart from that, they're basically meaningless. I mean, they can help sometimes, and if they're genuine subscribers, like people that will watch back your content and are watching either for you or for an aspect of all your videos, then maybe, yeah, that's helpful. But if they're just subscribing just for the sake of subscribing and they don't actually care that much about you, then it's basically worthless. So my advice for subscribers is don't focus on it that much. If you're making shorts, then sure, you can incorporate something where they subscribe. If you're making content that you think is really good, and you think that, like, if you're doing really high quality content and you're doing like one video a month, then yeah, ask them to subscribe, because every single one of your content pieces, they're all going to be very high quality and well done. But if you're publishing 3 videos a day, long form, and you're just essentially just asking them to subscribe for this garbage, then obviously the subscribers are not going to be retainable. And so that is extremely important when you guys go ahead and make sure you are asking for subscribers, because when you do that, first of all, you're saying, please subscribe to me. I need you to subscribe to me. You should subscribe to me because XYZ, whether it's a giveaway or whatever. That's what I used to do a lot, because I didn't really have better sales pitch. Like, I couldn't say I was making good quality content, because to be honest, it really wasn't. It was just lazy content that worked on YouTube recommendations. So that's what I've learned. If your content's high quality though, do make sure you guys ask them to subscribe, because again, it's great for retaining people. I would recommend go for quality over quantity on subscribers, because you can get 10 million subscribers. It doesn't matter if you're not making there's channels with 10 million subscribers that aren't even making any money. I'm not kidding. They're making $0 because they do YouTube Shorts. So that's why I recommend sticking with long form content, at least as a primary focus. Like I already mentioned, you guys can use short form and add a related video to the short form and drag people to long form, because it's easier to get reach with short form and then take someone from a short form viewer into a long form viewer. So that's what I recommend when it comes to subscribers, although really, please don't focus on them too much. There's much more important things to focus on, such as actually making revenue and making money on YouTube. Whether that be internal monetization or external monetization, monetization is just more important than subscribers. I would rather have a channel with 1K subs making like $250 a month than I would rather have a 100K subs channel making $0 a month. Because 100K subs only is cool in practice. I promise it's meaningless. You would be shocked. Like, there's 100K subs channels that are worth like $200, $300 and that wouldn't sell for anything, but the channel's making $300, $400, $500, $1,000 a month with like 1 to 10K subs, like sort of like this channel right here. They can be sold for thousands of dollars. So please do not treat subscribers as some sort of mark by God to ensure the success of your channel or to mark up how well you're doing, because they're just It's so fabricated. It's all smoke and mirrors. Focus on revenue. That's my advice in relation to subscribers. And now let's go over how you guys can go ahead and grow your revenue, because I have a few tricks for you. And I'm also going to be going over a few external monetization secrets. So let's get into that. Now, I'm going to go over the basics one more time, because I just want to touch on them before I do go ahead and end this off. So there are a few things that I would recommend going over, because these things are just so basic and you need to have them down in order for this to work at all. And these things are simply going ahead and learning how to manage a brand, because your YouTube channel is going to be a brand whether you like it or not. It's either going to be a brand based around you or your content. No matter what it is, it still technically is a brand. And so you will need to have an idea of how you are going to make this brand, what it's going to revolve around, and how you're going to monetize it, because that is important along with everything else. Because if you cannot monetize your content, then you're working for nothing. And so you can also repurpose your content and get ideas from just the latest trends, or you can find things that are going to last a while. And so again, just find things in your video topic or niche section that are trending. Think of things that you would want to know the answer to, and also look for scarcity in the market, because if there's no videos on a particular topic but it's super high value and it's super in demand, then you can make a video on it. And you just have to come up with good concepts. This is something that just comes naturally to me because I've been going at this for 4 years. And so I just recommend getting in the habit of constantly looking for gaps and just seeing what works. Because when you spot something that works, you go ahead and actually take action on it. Then you'll start to have this sort of cognitive function just naturally that will instantly just identify opportunities, which is super amazing. So you can jump on just about anything. Apart from that, you also should develop recording skills, and regardless if you're recording like I do, using something like, for example, I use OBS Studio, or you're animating, or you're just editing stock footage, no matter what you're doing, again, you want to build up those skills. You want to build up Photoshop skills, and you guys, most importantly, probably you want to build up editing skills. And again, all of these things are very important. You have to all incorporate them. If you just try and work on one or two things, that's fine, but you need to have all of these things and bring them together if you guys want to see success. Again, another thing is titling and making sure your posts will look clean. And when I mean posts, I mean when you publish a video, it should look very, very sophisticated, and it shouldn't look half done. And what I mean by that is your thumbnail and your title should go well together, and also your video can retain a viewer. And so make sure you guys can watch your own videos. Make sure if you get someone else to watch your own videos, what you can do, you can actually test them and say, hey, can you please check out my video? And after you send them the video, see if they watch the entire thing. Ask them, hey, ask them like an hour later, hey, at what point did you click off, or what point? And you just want to make sure they actually watch it to the end. If you guys are making videos that are reliant, not necessarily on search-based recommendations, but on YouTube recommendations. Because if it cannot retain a viewer throughout the entirety of the video, then it's not likely going to get pushed to the algorithm, and you likely have room for improvement, as you always do anyways. And so you can also use this to amplify success. And what I mean by this is when you repurpose content, you guys can go ahead and put it into short form, like I already mentioned, and you guys can use that to drive traffic to your long form content, and that works absolute magic. And especially works really well when you're trying to go viral, because short form content is so easy to go viral with, but the problem is you cannot monetize it easily. But that's not a problem if you can drive short form content traffic into long form content traffic, and you can do that so easily with the power of YouTube Shorts by just adding a related video under each short. Because when you guys go ahead and do that, it will make it so easy to integrate long form content and short form content together. Another thing I do want to mention on is live streaming. Live streaming is something that I just don't recommend getting into until you already have a solid base. And if there's, like, for example, an event, like for example, you have a soccer YouTube channel, you could live stream the reaction to the soccer game or the score, and sort of do it in a little bit of a clickbaity way to make it like, oh yeah, we're live streaming the game, but obviously you can't show the game because of copyright issues. You can show your reaction to it, the score, maybe the audio if that's allowed, who knows. But you guys can do live streams like that when you find an opportunity. For example, when there were Fortnite events, I used to live stream them even though I had literally no subscribers. I would get like 50 viewers even though I had, like, I don't know, maybe like 50k subs. And so Again, you really just want to do the live streams only if you identify an opportunity, because if you do not already have a solid base and a good opportunity, live streaming is a complete waste of time. It can be fun because you don't have to actually do any editing work, but it eventually gets tiring and super stupid, and you don't feel as rewarded by it because it's hard to go viral on live streams. Another thing, as I do want to mention, is the community tab. The community tab is a great way to keep your viewers engaged, and I would recommend the number one thing to do is going ahead and doing image polls. And if you guys go ahead and see these image polls right here, you guys can put an image and then something right here. I'd recommend doing one line and then linking it to a video below with like an emoji or something, but you want to make sure these two images that you put here are two very simple options, just depending that are universal. For example, they don't need to know your exact video topic, and you want to make your line somewhat intriguing to get them to click. Like, for example, do you want free money? If so, watch this. Arrow pointed at the video. Yes, no. It's very, very simple. And if you go down to some of the ones further, I have, like, these have over 100 votes, which is all right. It works. But again, my channel is not that big right now at the time of recording this. Maybe it'll be soon, who knows. But that's what I recommend in regards to community posting. Make sure you always have a video linked and that it's super intriguing. You don't give away too much, but at the same time, make sure your post is universal. And I just recommend keeping two options with images, unless if you need more. If you need more, then you can do more. But the rest of these are pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend doing the video ones. I wouldn't recommend doing the image ones. I think the best ones are image polls, because you'll get the most interaction with those. The next thing I would recommend, guys, is something else. Is you can monetize content internally through YouTube, and you can also monetize content externally from YouTube, as I already went over. The internal monetization tends to be a little bit more natural, and what I mean by that is every time when you guys monetize your content internally, for example, you get paid on something called Google AdSense. And when you guys go in and get AdSense balance, you basically will get money to your Google AdSense account, and then it will pay out to your bank. And this is how most YouTubers get paid, through ad revenue, because ad revenue is the biggest income source for most YouTubers. And so again, you want to make sure your content is good for ads, and you have to comply with the monetization policies to even get in the partner program and to be able to apply, which requires 4,000 hours of watch time and 1K subs. The 10 million shorts views is so stupid. I wouldn't recommend doing it at all. It is so much more difficult than getting 4K watch hours. And if you guys want to get monetized without having to do any of the work, just for some of you guys that watch this far, join the Discord. It's $1. But yeah, let's get back into what I was saying. The other monetization, like the lower tier of it, like the 3,000 hour watch time and like 500 subs, that one is complete BS. It doesn't give you access to getting watch page ads, and that's where the money's at. It just gives you access to like affiliate, be a YouTube affiliate, so you can promote their products for them and make a small commission, but they'll be making more money off you. It's not a benefit, I promise. So you need to get fully monetized. Trust me, doing the lower tier and then acting like that's an achievement is so stupid. You need to get fully monetized on YouTube channel as quickly as possible. 4K watch hours is the way to go. Just make good content and make it so that your videos can retain the viewer throughout the entire thing. So that's why editing is probably the most important thing in this entire course. But again, my short segment on that will not be enough. You guys have to watch other content on that to be able to become sufficient at editing. Next thing is monetizing your content externally. So apart from watch page ads, memberships, donations, stuff like that, you can also, there's stuff like in the shorts feed ads, but those things don't really matter. And there's stuff like shopping, but I don't even have any products on my channel. So yes, you guys can monetize externally through things like selling products. You guys can do affiliate programs, all these different things. I already mentioned most of them, but again, if you want more of these methods and the best ones, like I mean the absolute best ones that made me hundreds of dollars a day worth of when doing absolutely no work, join the Discord. It's $1. And again, just make sure you try and take advantage of every opportunity you can when it comes to externally monetizing your content, because if you have a viral video and you do not get an external monetization thing from it, it is likely going to make you lose hundreds of dollars. So I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend incorporating either some basic affiliate thing or some basic app or whatever in all of your videos, and so you guys can monetize externally no matter what your content is or what the video is. So if it does by chance go viral, you'll be capitalizing on it to the fullest. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is AI in the content. And if you guys use AI, make sure you guys read the channel monetization policies, because again, AI is such a dodgy topic on YouTube. It is so difficult to monetize AI content, especially if it uses AI voices, AI like faces. If it uses any of that, it's not going to get monetized. If you even make it in the partner program, you guys will be immediately kicked out. It is so stupid. Do not waste your time on it. Use your actual voice to speak. I promise, even if you're having a talk on your phone and your voice still sounds dodgy, just work on your speaking tricks and just build up your voice, because when you guys go to do that, you'll learn how to speak like me. Sorry if I'm speaking kind of bad, it's like 4 a.m. But make sure you guys learn how to speak properly, because that is extremely essential. Next is creating evergreen content, and evergreen content is super important for YouTube, because if you want to make money passively, if you guys ever want to get off the hamster wheel of YouTube, this is what honestly is going to allow you to do it. This sort of daily content schedule where you're uploading videos every single day until you die actually sucks. That's not the point of YouTube. The point of YouTube and being a creator on it, especially with this course, is to give you financial freedom. It's not to give you financial slavery. So you want to make sure that your content outlives you, and your videos just won't be expired in a day. Your content needs to be interesting enough, or needs to be important enough to outlive the short duration that most content lives. For example, a Mr. Beast video from 5 years ago, you can still watch today, even from I don't know when did he start uploading, even from maybe a decade ago. If you're not his videos that old, you would still be able to watch that, but it wouldn't be as entertaining. But if for like 5 years ago, you could still watch a video from Mr. Beast and it would still be somewhat entertaining. And that's the point, is evergreen content like that will be able to be watched in 50 years. And so even if the video is not new, it will stay somewhat relevant because it is timeless. Make timeless videos, because those ones will be making you money until you die. And even if it's small amounts, they will add up drastically. Trust me, it is probably the best thing I did when making YouTube content. Is my content was evergreen, especially on my Fortnite channel, because it was mostly search based, but it was great, and that was probably the best thing about my long form content. There weren't many good things about my long form content, but that was probably one of the best, apart from it being so easy to get in the recommendation of searches. But finally, there is one more thing I wanted to touch on, and again, this is another basic thing. It's external social media promos. If you guys are going to promote other social medias, I would recommend driving people to long form content. I wouldn't recommend driving people to short form content, because short form content sucks. It's impossible to monetize. But you guys can always drive people into getting into, for example, I'm doing a group, but you guys can also drive people to a product. You guys can drive people to an affiliate thing, like I already mentioned. These are external monetization things, and you guys have to get ahead of the game before it's too late. When it comes to YouTube, guys, so many people are trying to do YouTube, and at the end of the day, only so many people can be successful on it. And what you guys have to go and do to implement any of these tactics is you guys have to find what works and what doesn't. This is something that doesn't just instantly come with you. This is something that has to be developed. It has to be trained in you. And this is something that took me 4 years to develop, and I'm still developing it. I'm not perfect at it. I don't have Mr. Beast level of identifying opportunities, but what I do see is when I see something, I can quickly take action on it. I know how to do this swiftly. I've gone at YouTube for about 4 years. That's over 1,000 days. If you think about it, I know 1,000 days doesn't sound like a lot, but if you try to count to like 1,250, you guys will be like completely burned out, and you realize each of those numbers is an actual day. It sounds like a little bit, but it is a lot. And it took me that long to build this up, and you guys have to just constantly keep on going. You guys cannot give up, and you want to learn something every day on YouTube. So my final tip in this entire course before we get into the conclusion is every day off of YouTube, write down 5 things you learned. And whether it's on notes on your phone, whether it's literally on paper, just write down 5 things you learned from that day on YouTube. Whether it's a video that you posted a month ago starting to do well, whether it is a video that you just posted flopping because you did something wrong, just write down 5 things you learned, and then just every so often to read through all of those things and accumulate them, and eventually start to implement those tricks. Because once you realize what you're doing wrong, make sure you guys take notes on the stuff you're doing wrong, but also stuff you're doing right. And once you guys start to take that into account and start to factor that into your content, there really is no way to lose. It's not quick, it's not going to be fast, but I promise if you work hard enough, it will be worth it in the end. The problem with a lot of YouTube groups is there are a few types, especially the ones that you'll see normal gurus promote, that essentially just teach you how to do very basic things. There's not much interaction and everything feels disingenuous, especially when you join these groups that are thousands of dollars, or they're just upsells to workshops and just all of this BS and this giant mess. I'm going to be giving away a group to you guys for $1 singular because honestly, I want a community that's centered around people that want to grow on YouTube and want to be entrepreneurial around YouTube too. Because there's so many different programs, but I wanted to make one that had everything and that was still authentic from me to you, because there's so many different groups and the problem with all of them is they are not genuine, they don't feel authentic, and you don't get a actual nice community and you don't feel any connection with anyone. That's the problem with most of these groups, is they don't last and they don't feel genuine. And so that's why I am starting my own group, and you guys can join it for $1. All you have to go in and do is join the Discord down below. And okay guys, the link will be in the description, or if you guys are in the Discord, it will just be right here. Again, you guys can use code FREE at checkout to get in for $1. And once you guys are here, you guys just want to type in the coupon code FREE, click apply, and then click on continue. And then after that, it's going to ask for your email and it's going to say connect your Discord account. You guys just have to click on connect. And after you guys are going to do this, it's going to say authorize, make sure it's your actual Discord account and it's the one you actively use. And then click on I have read and agreed to terms of service. And then also you put it in your email too. Once you guys go ahead and do that, it will take you to where you guys can go ahead and sign up. It's going to show you the total, which is $1, because again, this is $1 to get in. It's a subscription, but it's $1 for any of you if you guys want to get in just for the first month, because I want to make it extremely cheap, and so you guys don't have to worry about it reoccurring, because I wanted as many people to be able to get in. Guys, I hope you found the information in this course sufficient, and hopefully one day you can earn something like this, because this is honestly what YouTube can bring to you. It's brought me so much, and I couldn't be more thankful, because I've made tens of thousands of dollars off YouTube. I've gotten incredible things like this, like my diamond play button right here. I have the other play buttons in the back, and I'm probably going to get more soon, which is just unbelievable. I don't do it for the awards I get. I don't do it for money really either. Yeah, those things are cool and they do help, but again, at the end of the day, I'm doing it because I really do enjoy the entire content production cycle, and I love trying and learning and using all of the things I've learned and accumulated over the time to make genuine good videos. And I know I've made pretty low quality content so far on this channel, but I'm going to start making high quality content on this channel, and I hope you guys can start making high quality content on YouTube too, because if you guys do, then it's the first step to earning something like this. But I do want to thank you guys again for watching throughout this entire course, because if you made it this far, you're obviously really dedicated, and I want to tell you something. If you guys have made it this far, you are probably the exact type of person I'm looking for, because I'm trying in my Discord server to get people in that are going to get YouTube success, because I want to talk to you personally. This is not some mentorship upsell. I'm not going to ask you for thousands of dollars. I'm offering for you guys to join my Discord for $1. If you use coupon code FREE, you guys can get in. So just simply click on the Discord link down below. It's going to take you to a page where you guys can buy it, but if you guys use the discount code FREE, you can get in for $1 singular. $1, and we have tons of information in there, private lessons, private services. You guys can directly chat to me. I'm going to be doing weekly calls in there where you guys can call to me. I'll give you a custom roadmap. What I mean by that is you guys can write out your situation in a paragraph, and I'll give you specific and authentic things from myself and what I would recommend for you to do. Because if you guys have made it this far, I genuinely appreciate you so much, and there's so many unauthentic people in this world that will show you plaques like those, and then they'll say, hey, buy my mentorship or join my workshop or all this BS. And I just wanted to cut through all of that, and I wanted to offer you something genuine. I'm offering this for $1. The only reason I even have to make it like that is because if I just open it up, I'm just going to get a giant influx of people that have no clue what they're doing. It's going to be like a zoo, and so that's why it's paid technically. But I'm making it super cheap so everyone can get in for their first month for literally $1. So anyone can take advantage of the stuff we have inside there, because there's so much opportunity and there's so much stuff that you guys can go ahead and use and learn from it. So I would appreciate if every single one of you guys, especially made it this far, if you made it this far, you know what you're doing. You're obviously dedicated to this. So if you've made it this far, you're obviously dedicated. And so you might as well join this community. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be chatting with all of you guys. We're going to be doing weekly calls. I'm going to make sure it's authentic as possible, because so many of courses, so many groups are not authentic. They're just some guy at the top trying to take everyone's money, and then everyone else getting the shaft at every stage possible. So I'm trying to make this more of a group thing and more of a communal thing rather than just a money club. Although it will still be me helping you guys get success, because let's be honest, everyone wants something like this, because these things are what make this so amazing and what make YouTube so special, is because every other thing will pay you money, but only YouTube will allow you to make money in such an amazing way and give you such amazing things like these. And you guys can also get tons of opportunities through YouTube. There's so much stuff. And honestly, the sky's the limit when it comes to YouTube. People are building billion-dollar brands off YouTube. And so, I mean, you might as well get in before it's too late on this opportunity. And so that's why I'm asking you guys to join, especially if you made it this far. I want you guys in there. I want to chat to you. And I want to have a genuine, authentic conversation with all of you guys that made it this far. Because, to be honest, if you guys made it this far, you honestly are probably really dedicated to YouTube, and I think you guys will go really far. So please join. Just please, I ask of you, it's $1. If you guys don't have $1, that's fine. You guys can still watch content on this channel for free, but just find $1 and join this, because I want to make sure this provides as much value to you guys as possible, and that we can all get success together. And I want to bring all of you guys up, especially that you guys have watched this hours and hours and hours of course for. So thank you all, and I do appreciate you guys for watching this. Thank you all for watching up until the end. I'm going to wrap this up now finally. The final thing I'm going to say, guys, is please just, if there's one thing to take away from this, YouTube is not something that comes quick. It took me 4 years to get to the point of this. I keep on lifting it up. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's like 20 pounds. But it takes so long to get to this point. So do not expect fast results, because fast results often just lead to instant demise. So I would just recommend starting off, trying to snowball your way, and just constantly learn, because learning is the most important thing when it comes to YouTube or just anything in life in general. So that's what I recommend for all of you guys. Thank you all. Join the Discord down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching this course until the end, and I just want to let you know, if you made it this far, you're truly amazing.